ஆமா. Welcome everyone to the June 16th regular council meeting. And I'll need a motion to suspend the rules.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Creel.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Gray. Any discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. The clerk would read the revisions.
To the consent agenda, we are substituting the exhibit only for item 5GG, resolution authorizing entry into an excursion boat berth rental agreement with American Cruise Lines Incorporated for docking at the Pops Ferry Causeway Park. We are also substituting item 5HH, resolution authorizing submission of a Defense Community Infrastructure Program grant application to the Office of Local Defense Community Corporation for funding to be utilized to improve infrastructure supportive of Keesler Air Force Base and the Mississippi Cyber and Technology Center.
Thank you. Chair will entertain a motion to accept the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Creel. Seconded by Mr. Nail. Any discussion?
No discussion.
All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. Mayor's report.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President, and welcome everyone. I see a lot of smiling faces today for some good reasons, and I welcome everyone to our second meeting, I believe. And at this point, we've got a couple of little things on the agenda. I asked Jerry Crew to come in and start these awards. Very good.
You gonna read it, Mayor? Huh? Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, we're very pleased to announce that for the year 2025, the City of Biloxi has been chosen as a Tree City USA by the Arbor Day Foundation. It takes a lot of effort to accomplish this. We're required to submit a number of documents to be eligible for this. And, you know, we work very hard. It's a team effort. Very hard. But Mayor, if you'll read the documentation, then I'm going to introduce Lauren.
Okay. Okay. This proclamation, it really means a lot. Whereas the City of Biloxi has been named as 2025 Tree City USA in recognition of its commitment to planting, growing, maintaining trees to the benefit of the community. Whereas this designation as Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation marks the 42nd consecutive year for the City of Biloxi to receive this honor. The Arbor Day Foundation is a global nonprofit dedicated to inspiring the planting, nurturing, and the celebration of trees through its Tree City program. By participating in the program, the City of Biloxi continues to demonstrate leadership in urban forestry and environmental stewardship by creating a positive impact through trees. Biloxi has achieved the Tree City recognition by meeting program's 4 requirements, including maintaining a tree board, and we have a good one, or an department having a community tree ordinance, spending at least $2 per capita on urban forestry, and by participating in Arbor Day celebration. Therefore, I, Andrew Gillis, Mayor of the City of Biloxi, do hereby commend and congratulate the City of Biloxi on earning Tree City designation for the 42nd consecutive year, and therefore reaffirm the city's commitment to planting, preserving, maintaining our community trees and natural resources for the benefit of present and future generations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. What I'd like to do now is to introduce Lauren Erickson. I want to make sure I get his title correct. He is the Urban and Community Forestry Partnership Coordinator for the state of Mississippi. And Lauren is the one that we work through every year to make sure that we're meeting our eligibility requirements, and he has a few words to say.
I just want to thank everybody for coming and for your invite. I really do appreciate it. I'm working with York City quite a bit. Actually, the entire coast, we've got a very large grant that we're implementing and administering, and that we're looking forward to that. But 42nd year is a big deal. I think Laurel has 40, something, but. Yeah, I know, right? Well, and their mayor's very committed to their program, and that's why they are where they are. But nonetheless, I mean, 42 years is crazy. I've seen a lot of cities that got on it after 20, 25 years. But if you think about it, after 6 or 7 years of it being an actual thing, they jumped on it and stayed on it. There's been an unbroken string of that many years. And I see the commitment. I moved here, if you can't tell, I'm not necessarily from here. I moved here from Seattle on purpose to work with live oaks on the coast. And I did that about 13 years ago. I was landscape director at USM for 10 years, and I was responsible for the friendship oak when part of it fell apart and, you know, all that kind of thing. So I've got a long history with the live oaks, and I care a lot about them. Anyone that'll meet, you know, that's met me will tell you that. So I'm going to continue that. I'm going to continue to work with them in your city. If you've got any questions or any concerns ever, you know, everyone knows how to get a hold of me. They've all got my number. So I'm here to do just that, partner with communities and keep this thing going, and I think it's a fantastic deal. Very, very proud of it.
They be getting that photo on. Positive spin out of this.
We have, as the mayor said, we have an excellent tree committee, and Susan Peterson is the chairman of the tree committee, and we're going to let her come up.
We worked on the magnolia that y'all saved over there, close to a state record. We worked on
Danny, guys.
some of the tree right outside here. We've given recommendations, so
Susan, did
it's
you want to say
fantastic.
something?
Oh, I just want to thank everybody for coming, and I love that you're all concerned about our trees in the city of Biloxi, and that's a good thing, and we want to keep our majestic tree program alive, and the city of Biloxi has the only majestic tree program that helps protect our live oaks. So it's very important that we get them registered.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to invite them up in just a minute, so. Okay. Just lastly, Mayor, I just want to make sure that everyone understands that this was a team effort to put this together. We have a good tree committee. We have planning commission members. I'd like to invite them to come up. Also, our consultant, our certified consultant, Brad Manis, is here, just to show you part of the involvement that we have. As you know, anytime that we have a case that involves 5 trees or more, we have to go to the tree committee first of all, and then it goes for a public hearing before the planning commission, and even the city council is a big part of the team to help us preserve trees, and we're thankful for everyone. So, also, Teresa Shelton, who represents Keesler Air Force Base, she's our representative whenever we have a case involving Keesler, so.
We've
This over here. This is
Put that one up.
for the hammer.
Looks like it's the base.
Give that one to Marshall.
Okay, I think Wendy Powell's here. Got a little something for you. Wow. All right, thank you to Mississippi Power for this nice check.
I'm Wendy Powell with Mississippi Power. I'm here to present a check to the city of Biloxi for $4,728.20. This is an energy efficiency rebate for the chiller at the visitor center. Everybody says City of Biloxi, we know.
$720, thank you.
Thanks, Wendy. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mayor. Any departmental reports?
No, sir, we're going to hold off. Miss Johnson wasn't feeling well, but she's going to give y'all an update on the Billfish Classic for next week when she.
Awesome. Thank you, Rick. All right, let's get to some council reports. Mr. Creel.
Holy man, lead
How
off.
about that?
Better steal second.
Let's see. Just follow up from Ward 4 ward meeting we had last Tuesday. I'd like to thank my colleagues for coming in to support. Rick, thank you for showing up, and Assistant Chief Everett and Director Lee, thank you guys for showing up and providing the input and answering questions and showing support for Ward 4. A couple of things that came out of it, Ms. Christie. So the red lights at Margaret Sherry and at Sunkist Country Club, is there any way we can get those lights to operate as in the same fashion of Atkinson and Pops Ferry? So right now, they both, east and west, go at the same time, as opposed to intermittent as Pops Ferry and Atkinson. One side goes and then the other side goes. I told them that I would bring that and see if there's I don't know if it has to go to traffic committee or how that happens, if it's a timer or.
Yeah, let me look and see what we can do. It won't have to go to traffic committee, it'll just be adjustments to signal, but let me look and see if we have the technology in this.
Okay, yeah, it's like playing Frogger when you don't know where to go left, right, or so that was one concern. Also, Chief, as you well know, there the speed on Pops Ferry alone from Margaret Sherry towards the bridge when it does go to that the 3-lane with the turning lane, it seems like that's a drag race where they're using the turning lane to skirt traffic. So if just as a consideration, if you just monitor the speed on Pops Ferry Road, that'd be great. I know you're doing a wonderful job. You're writing citations, and we appreciate it. Also, Christie, so we have the delineators from Margaret Sherry towards North Country Club. They were requesting them on the other side of Margaret Sherry towards the pickleball courts. So what they're doing is they're using that turning lane there and skirting right before so they're looking to see if we could add more delineators from on the other side of the intersection. Just as, okay. Correct. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for your assistance with Public Works on the Auburn Drive drain yesterday. That was great. Yeah, the Ducks appreciated it too. They were able to walk out instead of waddle, so it worked out pretty good. Thank you again for the follow-up on the street light on Rich Avenue. That's been well received. I got a big thank you from the residents there as well. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Beautification Commission and their efforts coming up with the Fred Hayes dedication, Fred Hayes Landing. Fred's going to come in that morning. He's been gracious enough to get to the Biloxi Visitor Center at noon. They'll have a short presentation there. We'll have baseball cards with Fred Hayes on it, with all of his accolades and things that he's done, as well as a space for him to autograph. So he'll be there to present, and then we'll go across the street for 1300 to do the ribbon cutting for the Fred Hayes Landing. Want to thank the artist again for going out there and doing a great job fighting this weather, getting it up to date. She's doing well. Rachel, thank you so much for all of your assistance with the grant and the funding and staying on top of that, and the communication back and forth with the commission as well. So we'll talk about that again next week as it's coming up, so June the 27th, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Creel. Mr. Tisdale.
Yes, I'd like to take a moment to thank and recognize our 911 operators for the job that they do. They serve tirelessly. Literally, every call could be a matter of life and death. It's a high-pressure job, and it's not for everybody. But just they have to perform flawlessly every day. It's difficult. That's precious, so I just wanted to take a moment to recognize them for the efforts and the good work that they do. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. Shoemaker.
Just two things today. I know we've had a lot of rain, obviously, the last 2 days, but I've been in contact with Director Labata, and Public Works has been out. I know, not even with me calling and about issues, but I know they've been out looking at some drainage and ditch issues that we've had. And so I appreciate that. I know there's a lot going on throughout the city, so I appreciate y'all coming out to Wool Market, well needed. And I think we've got a good bit of more rain unfortunately coming, but thank you for that. And secondly, Eagle Point Outfitters, a new business in Eagle Point, some local owners, they live in Eagle Point as well. We had a groundbreaking ribbon cutting I believe it was last Friday. Great store. They're selling fishing equipment, clothes, ice chest, hats, boating equipment, a little bit of everything. So y'all come out, check it out. Eagle Point Outfitters at 8455 West Oak Lawn Road. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shoemaker. Mr. Nail?
Yeah, I just wanted to see if there was any update on Hiller Park, on the bathrooms, and we're getting right in the middle of summer.
Yes, sir. We have a little bit more firm of a quote now to get those repaired. They let me know that in order to go back with some of the same fixtures, now this is just interior, this doesn't count the repairing the doorways or things like that we had spoke of earlier. It's going to be around $8,500 to get that done. And if we want to go with the vandal-proof stainless fixtures that are a little bit more secured, it's going to be upwards to $16,000 for those. So as far as that goes, we do not have that money in our budget currently. I think that is something that if we're going to look at doing, we need to plan for that and put it in for this upcoming budget, and then we can get it done.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And what about any update on the Broadwater homeless situation? Is it pretty well? They said anything to you? I know people starting to ask. They're walking around a little bit more.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where you move from one spot, that's where we're going to the other, and you start targeting that spot, they'll go back. Progress is still being made, it's just slow, but we're still staying on it. We're checking or getting reports every morning anyway, about the progress and the contacts that have been made in different areas to include the Broadwater.
Okay. I want to thank you for, they've been keeping them clear of the West Library. They've been patrolling through there a pretty good bit lately, so.
Yes, sir.
I think y'all got that under control.
Yes, sir. A lot of it is as manpower allows with different call volumes as it fluctuates throughout the day, but we try to stay on that and definitely the other areas within the city. But
All right, thank you.
yes, sir.
And Lamata, I wanted, on that cutting the grass on Pops Ferry Road every 2 weeks and not weed eating,
Yeah.
is there any way we can, we have to throw the weed eating in? Somehow or another.
Actually, Jamie does that section, so I'm gonna
oh.
let him address that, yeah.
Is there any way we can kind of
That's
throw
me.
that weed eating in there?
Sir, sorry.
Instead of just cutting once and then 2
Hey,
weeks later?
Let me interject real quick, Councilman Nail. Remember, we're going to the new program in which we've done. As we go through this, what we're also doing is taking notes of what you like and what we don't like, and then we're also going to be able to change that as well, too. So obviously, I can take this as a you don't like,
All right,
move forward.
okay.
Right.
Let me throw my 2 cents in on this too. We talked a lot of times, a lot of the weeding is kind of tripled up by 1 foot of grass and 2 edges.
Yep.
And we've looked in, and I think our first attempt on doing at least a proof of concept will be on Division Street, because we have those kinds of situations, and we have a little funding to do in the outside the gate project. So we'll get an idea of what it would cost to do that one time and remove at least the grass cutting and 2 of the 3 edging that you would have to do, especially on Ops Ferry Road. But this will apply there, as well as we can push it on the beach, and especially up towards the mall where you have 1 foot of glass and the rest edging to do. So we're going to put some numbers together and see if we can expand that and reduce the amount of edging we have to do, period.
Okay. All right, thank you. And that's about it. That's concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Nail. Mr. Marshall?
Come back to me.
Okay. Mr. Gray?
Come back to, no. The Billfish Classic, I walked around, talked to a lot of the boat owners, and they was all pleased. They said this is the best it's ever been. And many years it's been coming. It's the 29th year. A lot of them was pleased, and they said the trash was being picked up. Whenever they had an issue, they come right out and fix it. The promoters called. They said Public Works was great. The electricians was great. That whole thing, they said they was very pleased with it, and they was happy. The timer on the skate park, the lights, we've been having people there skating at midnight, so we've been getting calls on that. We have anything on a timer?
Well,
For anybody here?
so we've got the quotes for the timer. I don't know what they are off the top of my head, but we've been getting those quotes together, and I'll get an update of when we expect those to be installed. But we still have the issue about just because the lights are going to go off, that might be a PD thing about making sure people are out of the park.
Well, if the big lights go out, you still have the small ones around.
Right, we're still going to have the small lights, so it's still
So
going
they-
to be partially lit.
Yeah, well, I mean, they know if they go out at a certain time, stop.
Right.
And can we get some type of signage up there that at 9 o'clock skating stops?
Yes, we plan on doing that. We were going to get when we put the timers up, we were going to get with Jamie and figure out what the park hours actually are and have Sign Shop make a sign so we can post up there. So let people know that lights are going to go out at this time, park is closed at this time.
Yeah, I mean, some of the residents around there love it. Some of them, they got to get up early and, say 9 o'clock, they should be, hopefully done. They just getting a lot of complaints around there,
Yes,
so.
yes.
We can do a time thing and a timer.
Absolutely.
Great. And on the agenda, y'all gonna see 2 things come up. Comfort Street, Dan Quave is gonna get Comfort Street paved, and he's gonna work on a walking track underneath the I-110 bridge. So y'all see that come up. I appreciate y'all's support on that. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. Mr. Marshall?
Ms. Labate, we knew you were coming up.
Yes, sir.
We'll start with the parking first. Not the parking, the paving over by the Bellman area I asked you about.
Yes.
Okay, you got a time frame or anything? Well, how are we looking?
No, I don't have a time frame because we're still determining what the balance of the MIMA money is going to be used for, and that's what that is paid, that's what that's funded out of. But it is on the list that I sent out of all the proposed paving that will be addressed at some point in the future. That's kind of our round of next streets that we'll do. So that's all I have at this point for that, depending on what we do with the MIMA money.
Okay, during this last rain, we still got some more coming, but we have some drainage problems over by Murray Street, Baptist Alley, Elmer Street area. We
Okay.
also got some drainage problems over there coming off of by Bellman and Copp Street.
Okay.
Copp Street area. And we've got some citizens complaining that it's looking kind of scary, the water's getting kind of deep, it's not draining down. It's not that this area is low, but the drains are not open.
Yeah, okay.
Want to make sure you work on that if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Also, we walked through the building over in the park, in Henry Beck Park, and can you give me a quick update?
Sure. So we had the guys come out and measure for the wood on the porch and the handrails. We've got that purchase order in the works. So as soon as we get that done, we can remove the barricades that are around the back porch and make it rebuild the steps, it'll make it safe again. We, actually, just this morning, had the concrete crew come out and meet me. We went and marked all the sidewalks where we're gonna replace the sections, and I showed them where we're gonna add, or reroute the sidewalk, I guess, so we can put the gate back. And then we're still got to come up with how we're going to address the rest of the issues with the building, but at least that'll get the back porch back operated and people can use it. And we have Mississippi Power coming out, and some of the lights in the park are their lights, so they're going to come take a look at their lights and figure out why they're not working. We're working on quotes to get lights replaced, the city lights replaced and back working, and add some lights around the exterior of that building to kind of make it a little bit more secure at night. So all that's kind of in the works.
Okay. Also, not taking a dig at my police department, but we had some visitors walking around the park on 4 legs.
Never heard of it, sir. Never heard of it. I definitely understand. One of the updates we got today that I asked about is the dart guns that we've talked about, or Chief D-Back has mentioned over the course of the last several weeks. So those guns are in now. We've had no active deployments or anything, but that's another tool at our disposal. So we look forward to helping you out with this solution. So.
Right. I was there with the directors of the parks, and we was touring around, and we had dogs mad at us because we was in their park. I said, well, we're not going to do it that way. So I'm glad you gave that. Also, the homeless situation, the unhoused. The city is very in tune with the understanding. The city is very understanding to those that are unhoused. However, we do have ordinances. We do have rules. You can't lay on our sidewalks pallets, not just, someone tired. I mean, they putting out whole pallets. I've had to call officers to meet me out to ask, because they wouldn't move when I asked them to move. And one of the guys got up and he was basically unclothed. Again, that's the second time. So they're just making it a bed. So I'll ask that you kind of increase that patrol, if you don't mind. We are sensitive to it. The mayor is very sensitive. I discussed it with him, and he's bothered by it more than I am almost. But we're going to have to address it because we need to protect those who are paying for those sidewalks. And they need the right. I don't think if someone on the actually handicapped, in the school, they need to go into the traffic, especially on Division Street, in that traffic, to get around somebody because they were too inebriated to get to the next point.
Yes, sir.
Also, on the issue of the Crocs Center, I have a lot of citizens that they're concerned. I mean, I've worked very hard to try to get, with your department, try to get the crime rate down since I came into this office. And it's been going real good. So can you give us an update on what you can without, interfering with your investigation?
Yes, sir, sure. As you know, we're early on in the investigation. We can't really share too many details. We don't want to jeopardize any aspects of the criminal investigation itself. What I can tell you is just a little bit before 9 or 10 o'clock on Sunday, that's when there was an event going on at the Croc Center. It appears on the surface there was some type of interaction amongst a few individuals. Those individuals took it to the parking lot, or decided to go to the parking lot and tell it amongst themselves, and that's when guns were brandished and fired, ultimately resulting in multiple people being shot. So we do feel like this is an isolated incident. We feel like we have a good idea of who did what shooting. We don't think there's any type of inherent risk or threat to the public currently, and I've heard, rumors or statements being made about this is a Croc Center issue. It's not a Croc Center issue. It just happened to be an unfortunate location that our community partners were involved in. So I think we had a good grasp on that. Our team did a really good job, and we look to further this investigation and continue prosecution. So.
Right. Okay, yeah, people called and said what's going on at the Croc Center, but I wanted to make sure that we understand that this is not a Croc Center issue. The Croc Center has some of the most strictest rules there could ever be. They're more strict than if the city was operating that center, the rules wouldn't be that strict. They don't allow any cussing, because they're very clear. It is a church. They actually label themselves as a church. When you go there, you are at church. When you're playing ball there, you are playing ball at a church. And they expect that there's no smoking, no drinking. They got so many rules there. I'm careful. So I want to make sure that they are a good neighbor. They are a positive for our community. And for what happened as an elected official, I'm just not happy with that. And it's my understanding, I don't know the rumors, that most of the people involved, they're not from Biloxi?
At this very moment of us meeting here, all indicators are pointing towards it's not Biloxi residents. They're all outside the city of Biloxi.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Before I go to my next part, I want to recognize Pastor Fairley. Pastor Fairley, if you're going to just stand where you are, sir. Pastor Fairley, if you just stand right where you are. Pastor Fairley is one of the preachers in our area, pastors in our area. They have a great youth program. They reach out to youth constantly. Constantly. I want to say this. Thank you, Pastor. If you have a youth in your household and you're looking to have a mentor, Main Street Baptist Church doors are open, as well as New Bethel doors are open. There are young deacons there. There are people there, mentors that will talk to your young sons and your young daughters. They're there to help, outreach. They're not going to come and knock on your door. But if you know your child is being disruptive, or you see your child heading down the wrong path, bring them to the church. Talk to the pastor, say, this is what my situation is. If you go to Main Street, if you go to New Bethel, if you go to First Baptist, Dr. Dickey's over there, and you say, I need help, they would find the right deacon or the right church mother that would get with your child and mentor them and talk to them. That is what they do. Not because they're trying to get paid. It has nothing to do with that. It only has to do with the love of God and the community. So there is no excuse. For those parents whose sons or daughters were involved in that incident, my heart goes out to you. My prayers go out to you. But I ask that you please reach out to the churches. If you're from Gulfport, I can name you preacher after pastor. They'll sit and talk to you. They'll come out. They'll make sure your child, your son, has the right guidance. They're not going to knock on your door. But if you would just take the effort to go there and say, my child needs help, I need help, they would not turn you away. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall. All right, I got a few things. First of all, I want to commend Public Works and all the departments for dealing with the deluge of water and rain that came down the other day. That it coincided, by the way, with high tide, so the water couldn't really flow out either because we had kind of the perfect storm with high tides and rain and that sort of thing. But so I commend you for the effort. I know I contacted Christy and her phone was ringing off the hook. But I do want to highlight a couple of things because we've even positioned it on some of our bond and MIMA targets. Belmont Gardens, I got pictures and videos. I don't know if she forwarded those to you, Christy. Did she send those to you? 4 or 5 of those units, the water came over the banks of the canal that is supposedly supposed to shed all that water away from that facility. This is a senior apartment complex, and 4 or 5 of those units got flooded. So I hope we kind of prioritize that when we come up and talk about this bond in the budget that we're into. Also, Waters View, I spoke to Miss Brenda Scametta and actually went to her house, sat down and walked in the backyard. She had her boots on. and she walked me around. There's a pipe that's still protruding out of the ground that used to be tied into a T, and she said when that was right, she didn't have the flooding that they're experiencing now. Can you give me an update on that, Director?
That pipe is on Public Works. We're going to go put it back in the ground and anchor it down with some concrete. And actually, I asked about the status of it yesterday at our staff meeting, and as soon as this rain dries up, we're going to try to get out there and get that done. Because this reason, we knew with this rain, it's going to be even worse. So it is on their radar, and as soon as we can get some dry weather, they'll get that anchored back down.
Okay, and then while I have you up here, I just want to, on Brody Road, it looks like, did the riffraff come in? Because it looks like the cones were picked up and put off to the side. Is there some work being done, or are we just preparing?
Is that at that driveway?
Yeah, that driveway where the culvert is, there's a drainage culvert.
I'm not sure. I don't think they got it done yet. I will get an update on that.
Okay.
They were waiting for some more riprap to come in. I don't believe it got here, but I will get you an update.
Okay, appreciate that. So, also, this is for Jerry. You don't have to come up. I just want to mention it. Motzi Road, and this is the Motzi Road over by Hickman. Reports, and I think combined with this rain, the tree limbs are kind of drooping down. They may be below the height standard. If y'all can put that on the radar. I did enter it. I think I entered it. I put so much stuff on the flooding in B-Connect. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to go back and check. And then Holly Bluff reported the same thing, that they have some limbs that are scraping the tops of their boats and different things when they drive through Holly Bluff Circle. Got a question on, Jamie, on concessions. Is that contract coming up? Will it be renewed? Are we going in a different direction, or can you comment on it at this time?
I want to say it's for a year with a renewing option, and it was awarded in January, so that would be coming up at the end of the year.
At the end of the year, it'd be coming up. Is that option expiring at the end of the year, or?
Rachel here? I'll get back with you and let you know exactly what the terms are.
I've had some conversation with some interested parties, not actually doing the concessions, but maybe some other things that would be beneficial for A.J. Holloway Sportsplex, and potentially what I'm interested in is maybe they could even help with some of my colleagues in their wards by doing some things that might be of benefit. So thank you, Jamie. That's all I got. I want to make an announcement. I know recently we've seen the good news about the Beautification Commission, and it's fully, we got a slate of commissioners. Everybody has an assignment from each ward. I'm disappointed to announce today that my appointment, Ms. Connie Rocco, is stepping down due to personal issues. I think her energy and initial perspective was tremendous when we were kickstarting the Beautification Commission. And I do have someone that at our next meeting, I'll be proposing to finish out her term. So look to the next meeting. I'll make that recommendation, and I hope I can get the, when I announce that, I hope I can get y'all's support. I'm almost finished. We had a meeting today, just for y'all watching at home, and talking about our budget. We got a starting point. We got a beginning point of around 74 million. And so I think this council reviewed it today collectively, had a lot of good input. Still could be a little fluid number, but just want to announce we do have a beginning point. That's the easy, I'm not going to call it easy, but that's the point we wanted to at least know where we were going to be. Now we have to do the due diligence for all the department expenses and what it's related to, and see where we end up with. Are we going to have a surplus, or are we going to have a deficit? It's too fluid at this time to know. I don't want to be negative and say we're going to have a deficit, and I don't want to be too optimistic to say we're going to have a surplus, but it's certainly the goal to see if we can certainly have a surplus. So I appreciate my colleagues kind of putting in the focus on this and working with us to make sure that we're transparent for the public and that we can get a good working budget and not compromise any of the essential services for our citizens. Okay, two more things. Mississippi Hotel and Lodging Association tomorrow, and I want to invite my colleagues to this. I'll be presiding over our annual our annual legislative forum, and we got some people that have committed, and I want to kind of announce those today. This is going to be hosted, by the way, by the Beau Rivage, and I want to thank Brandon Dardo, Mary Cracchioli, for doing that. In addition to having reports by Coastal Mississippi and by the Coast Convention Center, we're going to have Senator Delano, Kevin Felsher, kind of headlining our legislative forum. We'll have Senators Mike Thompson, Jeremy England, Philman Ladner, Bryce Wiggins, and then on the representative side, we'll have Jim Estrada. He was a good baseball player in his day. I kind of went to Perk with him back in the day. Zach Grady, Jeffrey Hulam, and Greg Haney. And by the way, Greg Haney chairs the tourism arm of our state legislature. Okay, next thing, I want to give my remainder of my time. Thank y'all for being patient today. And announce Kent Davis. And if Kent, you come on up. And as you're coming up, I also want to recognize Donna Stallone. I've worked with Donna quite a bit, and we had a conversation the other day, and it just kept evolving, and she was telling me what she was doing, and to segue into what my good friend, Mr. Marshall over here, about homeless issues and maybe veterans that we need to give some relief to, this program will certainly segue into that. So I'm going to introduce Kent Davis. I'm not going to read his whole bio here, but he's the son of a combat wounded World War II Army veteran, Rear Admiral Kent Davis, U.S. Navy retired, completed nearly 31 years of active and reserve military service in 2016. And I'm not going to get deep into it. I'll let you go ahead and kick off and tell us what the good work y'all are doing.
Thank you much. Thank you so much, sir, and good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I'm not only joined today by Donna Stallone, but also Kim Clark from Vets Recover. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about an asset that is available to you in this community, and it's a unique asset. You're obviously a military town. I'm retired military. I have a love for everybody who wore the uniform with Keesler Air Force Base nearby. We work with them. You also have great first responders in your community. That's who we serve. Vets Recover is a very unique facility within 1 hour of here. We're in Mobile, and we are a mental health and recovery center for active duty military, military veterans, first responders, and their families. You're not going to find a facility like this within several hours of Biloxi, I assure you, the range of services and the holistic approach that we take. Most veterans and first responders are doing great in life. They don't need any help. But there is a subset that are suffering from some unique issues, and we are here to help our brothers and sisters who just need a little hand up in life. And I just want to tell you about the services that are available, and hopefully you get the word out. And if you know of military, veteran, first responder, or a family member who's in need of our services, we will come get someone. Even if it's 2 a.m., we're open 24 hours a day. If we have to come get someone, that's how serious we are. Kim? We're actually two different 501c3 nonprofit organizations. We don't turn anybody away regardless of their ability to pay. There is a bit of a misconception that all veterans are covered by VA healthcare, and that's not true at all. Most veterans are not covered by VA healthcare. Many veterans don't have private insurance. We do a lot of uncompensated care, including in the indigent community. So we have two arms. Vets Recover is our care arm that provides the direct care to veterans and first responders. And we have a Veterans Endowment Fund that exists to raise money so we can take care of indigent patients that we don't get reimbursed for. We do a lot of that. Over the past year alone, we've provided about $3 million worth of uncompensated care. And the way we do that is through grants and donations to take care of those who need our services. As I mentioned, we not only are there for veterans. A lot of people think because of our name, Vets Recover, we just serve veterans. We actually serve a lot of first responders as well. We're very proud of that. After I retired from the military, I worked in city government, worked with first responders, taught first responders. I have a love for that community as well. We see a lot of the same issues in both communities, the military veteran community and the first responder community. We also find that traditional systems are not always set up to serve those communities, and I'll go into the reasons here shortly why that is. We take a holistic approach. We use a range of services. We have traditional clinicians, full range of therapists, but we also use peer support specialists. These are veterans and first responders themselves. Many, if not all of them, are in recovery themselves, and it just breaks down those barriers in dealing with those communities. We work with families, communities, and the workforce, because our idea, just like if you had a physical illness, you go to a doctor, you get treated, you go back to your life, you move on. That's the goal. It's the same with mental health and addiction issues. We want to get people well, get them back to their families, get them back to their workforce. The councilman, Ward 2, Mr. Marshall, talked about serving people. That's important. That's what we're there for, and the community. So why do we need a place like Vets Recover? We're pretty unique. There are very few facilities in the entire country that offer services like we do to those communities. It's because there are some issues that disproportionately affect those communities. And it gets a little sad when you talk about some of this. First of all, in both communities, you see a lot of service-related physical injuries, sometimes chronic pain issues. Those lead to addiction issues sometimes. We see a lot of post-traumatic stress. We commonly think of that in the veteran community, but think about what first responders are exposed to almost on a daily basis. That has an effect on anyone. We deal with difficult issues, sexual trauma issues. In the military especially, just transition back to civilian life or returning from deployment is very, very difficult sometimes. It's tough to turn off that battlefield mentality. We also deal with a lot of stigma issues in those communities. You know, those communities are taught to be tough. I don't need any help. And they're also taught if you mention mental health or addiction issues, boy, it could be a career ender. And we deal with that lingering stigma and the reluctance and sometimes the embarrassment even in dealing with those issues. And we try to break down those barriers. A lot of this, unfortunately, leads to long-term issues like overprescription and addiction, and it's pretty prevalent, unfortunately, in those communities. There are a lot of studies that show you can't use traditional systems in dealing with those communities. Interventions that really work are those that are delivered at least partially by peers, those who have walked in the same shoes as those communities. They can understand what they're going to and talk their language. It really is an effective model to use both traditional clinicians and peer support to support those communities. Next slide. This is the most depressing part of my presentation, and this kind of brings it all home, what we face, at least in the veteran community. So, in September, it's hard to believe, but we stopped to mourn and commemorate the 25th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. And I think a lot of people in here will always remember where you were on that day. We lost 3,000 great Americans on that day. I spent time in Iraq and Afghanistan. We've lost about 7,000 service members in combat since 9/11. So we've lost about 10,000 Americans in the global war on terror. This is kind of a rhetorical question, but I ask this. Does anybody want to guess how many veterans have taken their own lives via suicide since 9/11? It's pretty shocking. That's the conservative estimate. Some estimates are it's twice that. It could be as high as 400,000 veterans. Veterans are much more likely to take their own lives via suicide, and they're much more likely to be addicted to opioids especially. The suicide rate in the Deep South tends to run about 3 times the rate of the general population. And we see similar rates for addictions, about 3 times as likely to be addicted to opioids in the veteran community. So that's the most depressing part of my presentation, but there's good news. We are one of those that are serving veterans. Nobody can do it alone. The federal VA does a great job. They serve veterans also through something called the VA Community Care Network. You have to be officially enrolled in that. Vets Recover is a member of that VA Community Care Network. We get referrals from right here in Biloxi at the VA Medical Center. We are certified nationally by the Joint Commission, which is a national accreditation body. We are certified by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. I think we're certified by everybody that is out there. We provide a range of services from outpatient. These are people who just need an hour of therapy a week. They go back to their job very discreetly. Sometimes people don't even know they come in for outpatient mental health therapy. We do primary care as well. Sometimes there are underlying physical issues leading to mental issues that we deal with as well. We have a full medical staff. Next slide. This is what we're most proud of and a real success story. We have a very comprehensive inpatient residential program. That's a converted school in Mobile. It had been vacant for 15 years. It had been taken over by the homeless. It was a historic structure, and through a combination of donations, tax credits, and grants, this is now a state-of-the-art medical facility. We have 34 beds. 6 of those beds are really unique. We're one of the few facilities in this part of the country that has a medically monitored detox center. So we have 6 beds in there. In fact, this is so rare in this part of the country. That's the only part of our facility we will admit any adult in need of a medical detox, because those beds are hard to find in this part of the country. Our typical stay in a detox program is about a week, and the typical stay in our residential program is about 40 to 45 days. We've had great success with that with our model, and we use a range of therapies, not only traditional clinicians. We try to think outside the box, and we use music therapy, art therapy, gardening therapy, equine therapy, adventure therapy, and it is a very intensive, accountable program. The vast majority of our patients make it through and come out much better off at the end. Next slide. We are all about the community, both in Mobile and throughout the Gulf Coast. We teach mental health first aid classes. We get grant money for that. We go out into the community and try to just enlighten people on what you should be looking for. It's almost like a CPR class, but it's for mental health issues. We actually administer Narcan out in the community because opioid overdoses are unfortunately pretty prevalent. I bet you the first responders can tell you about the cases that they encounter. We work with the veteran treatment courts in several states. Those are very good diversionary legal programs that have a very low recidivism rate. Next slide. We've had great successes. We are close to 30,000 patients that have come through our programs in the last 8 years, and we're not stopping. We've got big plans. We're eventually going to go into halfway housing and sober living housing. We've just acquired another facility on our 7-acre campus to add more lab space, more medical treatment facilities, even physical therapy to those communities, because there is a real need, as you saw from some of the statistics there. We're open 24 hours a day, and I would beg anyone in this room, if you encounter a first responder or veteran especially who is in need of these services that you think might be going through a crisis, call us. Literally, we will get on the road at 2 a.m. if we have to get someone who's in crisis, and we have saved many lives by intervening in situations just like this. So please use us. We are not in it for the money. We are a nonprofit. I think everybody at Vets Recover does it because they have a passion for it. Almost all of us are veterans or first responders ourselves, and we are here to serve you. So please use us as a close by asset. Thank you so much today.
Thank you, Admiral. Thank you, Admiral. I want to be clear that this isn't exclusively just for homeless vets. This could be for vets and first responders that are not homeless, that are suffering a condition from this. All right, last thing, on another cheerful note, I received a call a few days ago from Therese Nikovic, and she invited me to come over and have lunch with her at the Barks Bed and Breakfast. And if y'all haven't been in that bed and breakfast, I would encourage you to do so. They're still working to get their CO and working through some issues. It may be later on after the summer. But she told all the stories. There's only 3 rooms in the whole building. It's named after the Barks women. Why is that significant that I mention that? We just lost one of the Barks women just the other day, Miss Beryl Barks Lewis. And their family was real close to my in-laws and my wife at the Biloxi Yacht Club back in the day. Miss Beryl was there, wonderful, wonderful lady. So I hope we can close this meeting later on in memory of Miss Beryl. And that concludes my report. We'll move on to the public agenda. Citizens' comments. We have a total allotted time of 45 minutes. When you're recognized, come up to the front, sign in your name and your address and state it clearly for the clerk to record. All your comments, please direct them to the chair and the council here, not at anyone in the audience or anyone else. And you can speak on any topic that you feel comfortable to speak about. So we're going to begin on my right today, your left. Anybody on this side of the room would like to speak? Raise your hand to be recognized. There being no one, we'll go to the left side.
Well, as everybody knows, my name's Albert, and I've been here for the last 5-6 council meetings, and been raising Cain about all the drainage issues out in Woolmarket. Well, I'd like to give a compliment to Mr. David Shoemaker. He's reached out to Nathan Barrett and getting some stuff accomplished that way. We also have had a meeting with Mr. Christie, Danny Wynn, along with David, and myself and my dad, try to get some of this flooding out there in Woolmarket taken care of. And I said, I'm first the one to bring up a gripe, shall I say. But, Mr. Marshall, your area's not the only one. I like you, but your area's not the only one who needs policing. And we are short on police staffing. And, you know, everyone I'm listening to up here, it seems like it's all about their area. But Woolmarket's an area too of Biloxi. We don't need to be wrote off. You know, we're paying taxes out there as well. We need police presence as well as you do. We have drug houses out there as well as you do. Hot spots just like you do. I like it, like I said, but you know, just saying like it is. And I would like to say a special thanks to Christy, Danny Wynn, and David for making their time here about a week or so ago to come down to Public Works to talk with us. And I think we come up with a solution, and we all got a deadline of September 1st. And so hopefully we can. Danny was also this past Monday. He came out with one of his partners, and he got a first-hand look at the flooding issue. I know we had an excessive amount of rain, but he got a first-hand look at it. And as soon as he got out, you know, it was like, hey, these are undersized culverts. So I'd just like to tell him thank you about that. And sir, I don't know your name. Rick Weaver. Mr. Weaver, he joined the conversation at the very end. But I'd like to give you all a big thanks on that right there. And thanks to that debt recovery center too. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? My left, your right.
David Wheeler, 185 Main Street, Biloxi. I'm here on item 5Y on your consent agenda. If you have any questions about that, I'll be here and can answer any questions if you have any. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yep, come on up, sir. You're up.
I'm Albert Huster Senior. I'm Wool Market, and I'm aware that y'all won't develop a bunch of property behind my houses. And my concern is about the wild game that's back there. I mean, they got deer, they got bears, they got bobcats, y'all. And when y'all go to development, y'all gonna run them out. They're gonna get killed because there ain't nowhere else for them to go. And if y'all ever considered doing something about it, because I mean, I've been back there all my life and I know what's back there. And I hadn't heard anything about what the city of Biloxi is going to do about trying to protect animals. But they go developing that, tearing everything up, they're going to run toward the interstate and get killed because they got nowhere else to go. And I think that ought to be taken into consideration because the animals here before we was. And so they got rights too. And right now, ain't nobody thinking about them. It's the almighty dollar building them houses. And I try to kind of protect them animals. I mean, I feed them a lot. I got them to come up my yard and eat. And it's not right what they're going to do. So I think somebody needs to take into consideration about trying to trap them or get somebody in there to trap them and move to a different location because there's no woods left out there since y'all annexed it. It's build, and there's no more country out there now. It's mainly like a city. And it's not right for them to go out there and just tear up the habitat and run them out and get them killed. And so, I mean, I think everybody ought to take that into consideration because they got rights too. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? My left, your right? No one? I miss anybody on this side? Citizen comments is now closed. Move on to the policy agenda. Start with the resolutions.
Resolution granting conditional use approval to authorize an existing single-family residence to be utilized as a short-term rental upon property situated in an RM20 medium-density multifamily zone and identified as 120 Keller Avenue.
Chair, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it. Any discussion?
No, I mean, there's short-term rental all around this house here. You got the Bart's Bed and Breakfast 2 doors down. There's a duplex, fourplex right behind this piece of property. So there's short-term rentals all around it already. So I would recommend approving this for special use.
Very well said, Mr. Gray. I don't have anything to add. Anybody else? Mr. Tisdale?
Yeah, generally, I wouldn't vote in favor of conditional use under these circumstances, but in this particular stretch of Keller Avenue, there are 4 or 5 short-term rentals already established there, so I can go along with this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tisdale. We'll let the record reflect your comments without prejudice.
All right.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Resolution granting conditional use approval to authorize construction of a convenience store with gas sales upon property zoned NB neighborhood business and identified as 13032 Lorraine Road.
Chair, entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Shoemaker. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Gray. Mr. Shoemaker?
Director Creel, would you mind just speaking briefly? I know the property is zoned, I think it's permitted right if it was just a convenience store, but we're here today just for the conditional use regarding the actual gasoline part of it.
That's true. The only reason it's conditional use, it's NB zoning, surrounded by NB zoning. You have the Family Dollar just to the south of it, the Dollar General across the street. And this is just up from the intersection of Wool Market Road and Lorraine Road on the east side. But that's the only reason it's before you is because of the gas sales.
Have you had any opposition or anybody contact your office?
We haven't had any complaints about it, no, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Creel. I'll say it's surrounded literally on all four sides by commercial. I've had a couple people reach out to me, not really have an issue with the gas station itself, just with development. They don't want development. I've had a couple of people reach out that they were excited that there was a gas station that was going to be that close. So I think, I'm bring up infrastructure a good bit when we're looking at businesses and developments. I think, Wool Market Road, Lorraine Road, traffic-wise, I think it's going to be utilized by a lot of the residents that are there now. I don't know that we're going to get an influx of new people driving there just for the gas station. So I'm fine with it, and I am going to support it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shoemaker. Mr. Gray?
Yeah, there's another gas station right down the road, right? Just a couple 100 feet away to the south of it.
No.
There's a convenience store there. It's open sometimes. It's not. It does have a gas pump out there, but I don't think that gas pump is active.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've had several gas stations right up. They have one right down the road that's condemned now, but this is not the first one coming in that neighborhood.
That's right. Yes, sir.
All right. That's all I have.
Thank you. No other comments? All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Resolution appointing Raquel Ronsonet Hayes to the Biloxi Beautification Commission for a term beginning June 16th, 2016, and ending June 15th, 2029.
Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Second.
All right, made by Mr. Shoemaker, second by Mr. Tisdale. Mr. Shoemaker.
Thank you. I know this is a long time coming for Ward 7. Raquel wanted to be here today. Unfortunately, she had an event that she was in charge of where she works, so she could not attend today. But I will say I'll make it brief. I'll say a few things. Lifelong resident of Biloxi, loves the city, volunteering. We've talked a good bit lately too. She's super excited to get started. We've got the Fred Hayes event coming up and some other things I think in the works. So she's looking forward to it, really is. She's excited. Since this information's come out with her name and that she was going to be on the beautification committee, I've had a handful, quite a few messages and texts and calls, nothing but good, positive feedback about her being on the commission. So she's looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. And she's going to be a great addition. So that's hopefully good things to come. Thank you.
Mr. Tisdale?
Yes, I know, excuse me, I know Miss Hayes, and her family, she'll do a fine job. She can only add beauty to the Beautification Commission.
Well said. I want to say this. Not only did I talk to Raquel, the enthusiasm off the chart. Her family, I know several of her family members that live by me, some of them, and they're all excited too. I think they're even more excited than she is. So, and that's hard to do. So, good choice. You took your time. You made the right choice. Mr. Creel, you got a comment?
Yeah. So Raquel's going to be. She is excited. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here. But speaking of beauty, her father is in the crowd, Mr. Rocky Ronsonet. And so since Raquel couldn't be here today, we got the second best stand-in. So Rocky, hey, look, your daughter's reputation procedure stuff. You done good, son, and we look forward to working with her.
Yeah. Rocky, come on up. Come on up. We got. Hey, proud daddy has to say something. Come on up.
Thank you so much, Councilman and Mayor. Yes, I'm very proud of my daughter. No one knows her like her dad. I knew she was a special person at the age of 2 when I could sit there and have an intelligent conversation with her. And as she progressed through elementary school, junior high, high school, and finished at University of Southern Mississippi with a bachelor's degree in business management in 3.5 years. And she has excelled from that point till today. And one thing about Raquel, if you tell her you don't think she can do something, sit back and watch.
That's right.
That's all I got.
Congratulations, Daddy.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
I was just going to say, she graduated with my son in Biloxi High.
Okay. All right, no other comments? All in favor? Opposed? Congratulations, motion carries, unanimous. All right, next item.
Resolution authorizing and directing the issuance of a general obligation bond, Series 2026 of the City of Biloxi for sale to the Mississippi Development Bank in total aggregation principal amount of not to exceed $18 million.
Chair entertain a motion for item D, not to exceed $18 million.
I'll make that motion for discussion
All
purposes.
right, Mr. Tisdale, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Gray. You have the floor, Mr. Tisdale.
Thank you. I'll try and be brief. I will share with everybody who's watching and here present that when we first started talking about projects that we wanted to see done in the city, the mayor had some projects that he wanted done, and the council members also had some projects that we wanted done in our wards. So I put together a survey and then met with the council members individually. And until this moment, we haven't met collectively, but I have spoken with each of them individually. I put a survey together, and we were and asked for a response, and they all responded. And we've got a consensus on what the council would like to see done, some in their ward. So everybody here on the council has had some input on this, and this was done last March. And I visit a few groups on Facebook, and folks want to know what projects we've been talking about or what we're looking about, and there's never been a project list put out there, but in fact, there has been. At my ward meeting in March, the mayor was kind enough to come out. He had his list. Mine was similar to his, just designed a little differently. So you can find that out there. I think, I was going to say maybe WLOX had showed something about that, but it's out there, and it's still there on my website from, I think it's dated March 6th or March 9th. But having said that, and looking at, and the mayor didn't get everything that he wanted on this list. And council members, there's some things we wanted and didn't get. But the point I'm trying to make is we've compiled a list. I've looked at this list, and based on the engineer's estimate, and Christie, if you don't mind, if you'd come up, I just want to ask you a few questions. And this, the total that I'm looking at came to a little over $14 million, $14,046,299 to be exact. And these were based on the estimates from the costs that we got from the engineers for these projects.
Yeah, some of them we had quotes on them, some of them we estimated based on other projects.
Right, so just a couple of questions. And this is a figure I'm willing to support, this 14 million, and it may be a little more than that, because I know with these projects, a couple of things. Some of these projects will probably be phased or multi-year. There won't be many, but I'm also thinking with the cost of inflation going up, I mean, as soon as we approved a bond issue 3 years from now, I would hope we wouldn't be in a position where what are we not going to do on this list, that we could do all these things on the list that we want to do. And so my first question is, if we look at a figure of 14 million, typically, you would know, I don't know, but I'm thinking usually you want a contingency fund built in somewhere for these projects, and generally Generally, would that be 10% based on your experience?
Yeah, 10% is a good average number. We vary depending on the complexity of the project, but 10% is a good across the board guess.
Right, and it depends on the market. So you all have a feel for that. Is there an algorithm or formula that you used? I was cross-examined by an engineer, so and I'm not an engineer. But there's, based on recent market bids that we've received recently, I'm sure you meet, I know you're in the same building with Walt Rohde. He's dealing with costs and change orders with all these FEMA-related projects. So if we were going to look at a contingency fund, in addition, if we've got $14 million worth of projects, and it seems to me we would want to add at least another $1 million to that.
1.4.
Yep, I mean,
The algorithm is 14 million times 1.1. That's 1.4.
Okay, right.
That's the algorithm. Yes, what algorithm?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Never give that man a microphone, never. So
I didn't.
So having said that, my first thought is we've got $14 million worth of projects, but if we're going to get these projects done, if this bond proposal is approved, then to get these projects done is probably to be sure, and we still can't be sure. Correct. Because it may be inflation jumps 4% one year, as it did one year, was about 8%, I think. But that's what I'm looking at least $14 million for the projects that the mayor wanted, the consensus from the council of what we would do for the mayor's projects and what we would do for the projects we wanted in our wards. Also on a table I put together, because we know there's another funding source, that's the Mississippi Infrastructure Modernization Act. We call it MIMA. We get funds. Thank you, Christy. Mr. Weaver or Mayor, could we not earmark some of those MIMA funds to retire or to handle this bond debt?
I think Jason Thomas and Lindsay will tell you that the MIMA source for the debt service related to MIMA qualified projects are certainly the source. So it would be, you're borrowing, let's say, using 1.1 times 14, borrowing, say, 15.4 million. MIMA related projects, that could be a source for the debt service for the length of the 15 million, is that what we said? Yeah, so the debt service is not like your traditional millage-backed debt service. It's an anticipated grant used to debt service. So you can offset, what you would be paying from millage, so to speak, if you had to go add that to the debt service mill by that amount. Right. And I think that was about 12 million, wasn't it? MIMA stuff. I'm not sure what you're listening. MIMA qualified. Yeah, so that debt service could be handled.
Right, we're pledging those state funds to float the bond, basically, the MIMA funds for those projects that are eligible.
Right, and I think we were talking about 1.3 million a year, something like 1.4, 1.4 million a year.
May get to that a little later, so have your calculators out is all I can tell you.
I can give you an algorithm too if you want.
You scare me, you and the algorithms, you scare me. Having said that, I'll leave that right there, and I gave all my colleagues up here a copy of the handout. Mayor, Rick, I've got one for you. It's essentially the same. It's several months old now, but.
Mr. Tisdale, I want to thank you you put a lot of effort and work and put a lot of reports together for the council to look at, and that's been invaluable. So thank you for.
I have some comments later, Mr. President. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I just want, before we move on to Mr. Gray, following up on some of Paul's comments, and this is for Peter. So today, if we don't approve this as is, or do we simply fill in the number, or would it require an amendment to up to a different amount?
I'll defer to Jane on that. I think the primary thing we're looking for today is a number.
Is a number. So would that be an amendment that we would amend it to say up to an not to exceed, or do we need a firm number? An amendment to give you the firm number.
Well,
I think that's important as we have these conversations.
If you want to have a lower maximum number, then yes, I think you would have to amend this resolution.
Okay, so we would amend it to say not to exceed?
Not to exceed 15.5 million,
Okay.
not to exceed
That's- I just wanted to
whatever
clarify
number
that.
you're comfortable with.
Okay, thank you, Jane. Mr. Gray, you have the floor.
This is never easy, trying to do this. Actually, we can probably use a $60 million bond. I mean, Mr. Shoemaker can guarantee you he can use 15 million, if not 20 million, and just in his ward, water, sewer, and drainage and road repairs. I mean, I can use, I guarantee you $15 million in my ward, even though most of it's all brand new, but we still got the west side of Rodenberg and all that stuff that's nothing been done yet. So these are never easy. And I know all kind of stuff's on Facebook. We're raising taxes. This is, over the last 3 bonds, Peter, have you known us to raise any taxes, the last 3 bonds that was issued?
millage taxes have not been raised in, since 1992.
Well, so, I mean, it's just, stuff's all over the internet.
4 years.
I mean, we all want a lot of stuff done. I mean, just on this list, I probably got $6 million. I mean, Mr. Shoemaker's got, everybody's got multiple millions of dollars on here. And that's the hard part, is what we can afford and what we can do. And Paul said enough. So I guess let's move on.
You have a number in mind?
I've thrown it around, looked at everything. I mean, I want to stay as low as I can like everybody else. I mean, I would like to stay around 12 million, but I know that's not going to be possible.
Okay.
So we'll see what everybody else has.
All right. Mr. Marshall?
Come back to me.
Okay. Mr. Nail?
Okay, we are going to pay off another bond that's already out there with this too, huh?
There's some debt service that will
Yeah.
go away
About 18
in a year and a half.
Oh, no, we did? Oh, okay. I'm comfortable with 18.
All right. Mr. Creel?
So on, I believe it was Rick that had added on the project list was water meters. Was it 3,000 water meters was added to the project list? Yeah,
That's outside of what's going to be in the bond.
but it was on that project list that they had given us.
Yeah, because that was the initial, I don't know what list you got exactly, but that was on the list of initial requests that we made way back at the beginning of this, and that's a potential MIMA funded, and that's actually on the agenda for later today to move MIMA funding.
So that's why I brought it up.
Yes, so
I was going to ask if it was the same ones that were on the thing today. So that 3 million, I believe it was 3 million, has been removed from the initial project list.
Yeah, it'll be removed. Anything that's already done or something like that will come off of the list that's on, you have now.
Okay.
300,000.
300,000, yeah, not 3 million.
Yeah, 300. Yeah. So the next question is, and I know there's obviously more than one project list, and I know we don't attach the project list as an exhibit for a reason.
Correct.
But it's almost, if you consolidate in credit cards and you don't have the banks send the checks to the credit card companies and you give it to the individual, the chances of them paying off those credit cards are probably few and far between. So that's why a project list is very important, so that when we go forward with this bond for whatever number that we determine, we have a list to go by when we're approving these individual projects to make sure that it was discussed in entirety, which I believe most of the projects on both lists have been discussed in its entirety, and I believe the difference of opinion comes from the rankings of priority, but that is incumbent on you guys that handle day-to-day opportunities. So I'm going to pray on it, but thank you.
Mr. Shoemaker, any comments? Do you have a number?
I had a lot to say previously when we first began talk of this months ago. I won't rehash everything I said then. It'll take way too long. I haven't changed on anything I said then versus now. I definitely can't support 18 million. We'll see where the number lies with what everybody else says, but I can't support 18 million.
All right. Mr. Marshall?
It seems to me that we're all worried about what our constituents, Mr. and Mrs. Biloxi, are going to say. But nothing is free. Nothing's going to get any cheaper. Prices aren't going down. And we're faced with making some tough decisions. When we're talking about, we got a police station that's leaking, black mold, and all those other things going on, not just that building, but all the other buildings that are in disrepair. We're more concerned about saving our butts for the next election rather than protecting those that we need to protect. This does not even include the library that was just closed. We have a library that was closed that needs a new roof. I don't like the number. I'm uncomfortable with the number. I've double-checked. I've talked to the bond guy. I've talked to the mayor. We're financially fit, financially as a city, to do this bond for this amount. We actually could qualify for way more, but we're not doing that. We're doing just the bare minimum to fix what has been neglected for years. If it had been done and fixed properly 10 years ago, 5 years ago, we wouldn't be looking at this number. For us to go in tilly-tat and play like these numbers, we worry about our election, what the people are going to say. What about those that are actually working in these buildings that are leaking? Having to deal with the black mold, what about them? What about their families? It is our responsibility to make that tough decision. I'm willing to look at my constituents in their face and tell them, I can't make the numbers any better. It takes money to fix what needs to be fixed. The things that they're complaining about, this is the money. The things that they're saying are so bad about this city that needs to be corrected, this is actually the money. We can't make it any better. We can't, there's no way we can sugarcoat this. We can't put this put the pill into a piece of candy. This is it. This is a tough decision. That's why they pay us the big bucks to make those tough decisions. We need to hold the mayor accountable. That's our job. I don't want to get to a point where we said, 5 months ago when we was discussing this, we did not know that the library was going to be closed because of a roof. If you did know that, then shame on you. But those of us sitting up here who did not know that the library was going to be closed, needing emergency repairs because of a roof. To my understanding, if we go with the 18 million and we only use 14, are we going to be responsible for the rest of it?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you, how does that work?
Well, how does it work? If you borrow 18 million, you got 18 million in your hand to use it the best way you know how to use it. And retorting something about holding me accountable and holding the business of the city accountable, okay, I agree with you. These things rise at about 4% per year. So if they're 14 million out of $18 million project, guess what you can do? These are needed projects, not nice to have projects. These are what is needed. So you're putting 4% probably times, 4 years before you address it with whatever resources coming together. And look, it's your decision. To me, it's not a tough decision. It's a decision that you can handle with 14 million, with 16 million, with 18 million. These projects are not my projects. These are Biloxi's projects. These are your projects. We need to be done. They raised, again, if you look back 4 years ago, when things could have, been, interest rates could have been at 2 or 3 whenever we were doing that, we should have borrowed, a bunch then. Had, 2020's easy vision after the fact. This is not going a favorable direction. It's the time to pull the trigger, do what needs to be done, We got enough horsepower, money-wise, from MEMA, as well as some of the things that will come up in 2 years and 3 years to help that debt service, whatever the number is. So it's a tough decision, but it's not really when you look at the scope of things. These are things that are not nice to have. These things we got to have. And, you don't wait. You don't buy a house by waiting until you have, all the money. You just go do it. So that's some of the logic and that I think we need to, face the thing. It's the time to do this, and right now is the time to do this. We've been talking and doing things to make everybody feel good about it, but without a doubt, now is the time to pull the trigger. All we need is an amount, like Jane said, whether it's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Just give us a number, we'll work with it. We'll get through with things, from your priority. You're going to set what have we done, what can be done from this list. And I think we're all okay with this list. And we've actually, scoped out the amount of money and the number of days it's going to take to do it, the number of days to actually prepare the bid documents. And it's straightforward. We just got to pull the trigger.
Are you comfortable in saying that you've trimmed off as much fat as possible on this to get, this is the things that are just absolutely necessary to put the city in the best position?
You're right.
That will be our job, to make sure that the city is in its best position. Tough decision, but it is our decision, it is our job to make sure that the city is in the best position. And that's why I'm going to support it.
Mr. Marshall, you had a question, if I understood it, if we don't use it, the excess, what happens?
I'm good with the answer. I'm good with the answer.
Ms. Marnardi up here to maybe answer that question. I think you addressed this, but maybe you were out of the room or something, but could you address, I think we got to spend 1%, like 85% or something like that over 3 years.
In order for the interest on the bonds to be exempt from federal taxation, you have to have a reasonable expectation that you can spend 85% of it within 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Mayor, CEO, may I ask you, based on your scheduling, how does that look?
That's good. I mean, we could spend $18 million without an issue. We've actually put the number of days, and we have, I think, the resources that maybe on paving, some of these other things that we have under contract that we don't need a lot of specs on, that cost, I don't know how many thousands of dollars a ton of asphalt, but we can actually, we can scope out and put a critical path on these projects when they start, when they get done. And the debt service rush rocks, I think we're talking 15 years? 20, yeah. So that's, easy 20 payments on them per year. Good question. Okay. We do it with the ballpark. That's a good question.
So, in just a follow-up, if we had done this, if this was done prior to the 4 new councilmen being all here, would it have been less as far as doing the bond? Would it have costed less?
I'm sorry?
If this bond would have been done 3 years ago, prior to...
Oh, would it have cost less 3 years ago?
Yes.
I don't know the answer to that. I don't remember what interest rates were 3 years ago. The cost of your projects probably would have been less.
Right.
But the cost of your debt service would have been a function of how much you borrowed and the interest rate. I just don't recall what it was.
When did we borrow $14 million on the ballpark?
2022, I believe.
4 years ago? 2%?
Yep. 2020 and 2021 rates were 2, but by 2022, we were starting to rise.
And not only we pull the trigger on that, we pull the trigger on some debt that the Biloxi was related to on the utility authority, which was significant.
Yeah, we did refundings during the pandemic when interest rates went lower than I had ever seen them in my life. We refunded the utility authority bonds and the stadium bonds and the other 2014 bonds.
I think the stadium bond saved us $300,000 a year.
It was a good bet.
Now, Jason, Lindsay, we're still looking at about 4.5 to 5 on this? 4.25. 4.25, okay. So the dollars per for payment are not that significant, so we can fade I mean, literally, where we get eaten up is the cost. If you wait a year, it's going to rise at least 6% of construction. And if it road and bridge, it's probably, 10 or 15%. Is that right? So that's per year. Every year you wait, it's going to cost you more. So if you have to save it up a little bit, you better be saving a lot more than you think you have to save to do it.
So I'm looking at it like this. If we wait, we're going to cost us more.
That's right.
So that's a waste of money. We need to pull that right now because this is the decision to make sure that the citizens are getting the best timing and the best price.
The things that need to be done for the citizens of Biloxi are in this list. The faster we get this list, the least it's going to cost as far as treasure.
I have constituents, Mr. and Mrs. Biloxi, in my area. They don't like it. I don't like it either. But I have to make a decision that's going to be what's best for the city.
Well, I think the decision that needs to be decided is whether you want to wait a few years to pay for these things that need to be done, and it's going to cost you probably 10, 15% versus the per annum that you pay while doing it now. That's
Either way you go, what you're saying is that pay now at a good price, pay more at a later price. But these are projects that has to be done.
And you still have to figure out where the money's going to come from. At least we have identified this is the capital that we need in order to do the capital projects that we're asking to do.
So the police station, you keep using it, but there are other projects too. If this had been done 10 years ago, 5 years ago, we'd have cost us way less. We could have saved money.
Most of these things are 20, 25 years old that are breaking down. And, every time we have an emergency, it has to be done right away. So, but this gives us a chance to get in front of the curve.
So we're going to, in other words, we're getting ahead of the game, even though we're still behind the game. If you say 10 years ago, we're stepping in now, we're a little bit behind.
Many of these things are 20 years old.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall. Do you have a follow-up or not?
Yeah, just real quick. So the 85% of the up to 18 million, the 15.3, you said has to be spent within 3 years. Now, is that allocated or spent and completed?
I believe it's spent,
So
or at least committed.
at least committed. Okay, so it doesn't have to be, the project doesn't have to, similar to CDBG where it has to be done.
Contracted, probably.
Okay, so this is just okay. Thank you.
I got a question, Kenny.
I got one too.
All right.
These projects, do they have to be listed out to get a money? I mean, do you have to turn in a list of the projects that we're doing?
When the bonds have been issued, we do a resolution where you receive the proceeds of the bonds into the budget, and then it's up to you all to appropriate that money into the projects where you want them to go. The bond documents themselves don't tell you, other than very generally, where you're going to spend the money.
It don't dictate where it's got to go. It just, let's say if we just want to borrow 15 million across the board.
You would do that
And we
after.
decide what projects later.
Do it after.
It has to be capital projects, infrastructure, things that are allowed under the statute. But beyond that, you all decide which particular project to appropriate the money for.
Okay, thank you, that's all.
Mr. Neal,
No, that's it.
you good?
You answered it.
Okay.
You can go.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to review just very briefly, Mr. Abad talked about millage. The last millage increase was in 1996, and the millage was raised from 57.56 mils to 58.31 mils. And then it was reduced for each of the next 5 years. And in 2001, it was reduced to 30.1 mils. That's almost exactly half of what the millage was 5 years previously. So how could the city do that? Gaming rolled into town. It took a while to see how much money the city was receiving because nobody knew what to expect. And people say, well, good, just tax the casinos more. Well, that's not a function of city government. That's a legislative issue. And I think things are going so well now, the consensus would be maybe the state doesn't want to rock the boat.
So when folks want to know, what's gaming done for you? It cut your property taxes in half. For the last, how many years is that, 25 years? Another way to look at it is that gaming is paying that half of the property tax you paid for 25 years ago. All right? And as far as the schools are concerned, the new Biloxi High School, which is now 22 years old, the new Biloxi High School. Citizens of Biloxi didn't pay a penny for that. It was paid for with gaming revenue. And that gaming revenue when the high school was paid off is now pledged to pay for the new junior high school that was built a few years ago. And the high school complex, 22 years ago, I think all total cost $38 million. The new upper elementary school, if I remember correctly, that they're building now on Pops Ferry Road, $55 million. That's how much the costs of services and goods and material has gone up. So Mr. Marshall makes the point, the longer we delay, the more costly it's going to be. The mayor echoes that. You've got a funding source that's not tied to millage, and that's the state MIMA funds. And one of my questions would be just to, Jason, I see you're out there, bust out that calculator, baby. So my first question would be, if we looked at 15 million over 20 years, and we'll have to plug in, I guess, our best guess at an interest rate, if it's, and I know I'm putting you on the spot. Beg your pardon?
For 15 of it,
Right.
20 years, it's about 1.2 billion.
Okay, and right now, with the use tax that we're getting, that's about 4 million, so we'd take, and it's gonna go up a little if there are more online sales. So I think what you're hearing the mayor say is we have a funding source to float this bond. And if there is a millage increase, it wouldn't. Exactly. I mean, the millage wouldn't be involved. It's coming from pledge funds or anticipated grants from the state. So there's no question that these major projects on this list have got to be done. We talk about the police department and the roof. It's got to be done. There are a number of projects, and I gave you all a copy of my list just so you can see what the consensus is. And having said that, what I would say is whatever the number is, and that's the purpose of this discussion, is to come to a number that enough of us can support. Well, I was on a roll and I lost that thought.
All right.
Oh, no.
We can come back to you.
That is, no, don't come back to me.
I got a question.
And that is, wait just a moment, that whatever that number is, we need to stick with the projects here that we pretty much, with the feedback I've gotten, there are some things we'd love to see on there that aren't on there. There are other things we're grateful they're on there, but that's the thing. Whatever that number is, we got to get these projects done. So I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Mr. Gray.
How much, we have a bond fixing to fall off next year, right?
Yes. Yeah, April of 27, I think we finished the 2012 bonds.
And how much was that bond for?
About $500,000.
Payment.
What's our annual payment on the 2012 bonds? That's up to the marketers back here. Probably within a year, but almost a year.
Yeah, the first interest payment on whatever bond is done here today, that first interest payment is due a year from now, roughly a year from now.
Okay. But how much was the other bond? 5 million? Was that for the AJ Holloway Field?
No, the 2012 bonds, I forget what they were issued for.
I mean, I'm just trying to see.
But I think the debt service on those is between 500,000 and $1 million, I think closer to 500,000.
A year? That's what the debt service was?
I believe so. And then the next year, the 2016 bonds will finish up, and that will free up about 1.3 million a year.
And how much is this bond, if we did 18 million, just to say, how much would that cost?
I believe I heard Ms. Ray say 1.3 million.
1.3, 1.4 million for 18 million.
So the city's debt service will come off by about 600,000 in FY '28, and then another close to 800,000 in FY '30.
Formulated part of this bond is not a project of mine development. Layering financing.
Sir, if you're going to speak, you're going to have to come up to the microphone. Sorry.
Yes, the plan that we've had all along is for the part of the financing that is not covered by the MIMA money for projects that aren't eligible for MIMA, that as the existing bonds roll off, just on their normal maturity schedule, that will free up some of the existing debt service millage to then be applied to this bond issue. So that's why I say that the way we're structuring this will not increase the amount of debt service millage.
And let me say this about that. Okay, so in FY '30, we'll have freed 300,000 plus another 1.3 million a year if we do not mess with the debt service millage.
Right.
Is that right? So then, if we wanted to use MIMA, or we could use those 2 mills to pay the debt.
You could. Of course, that presumes that there's no more debt issued between now and then that those revenues would need to be used for.
And if I understood you, and thank you for mentioning this, because there are some projects on this list that are not MIMA eligible, but you pointed out where those funds could come from.
That's right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Jason.
So, I mean, I said, we can use 60 million. Okay, like I said, I appreciate y'all answering them questions. Thank y'all.
Mr. Marshall.
Yeah, we can use 60 million, but what the administration has put together is the 18 million that we gotta have. And that's what we're gonna stick with, and I think that's what we should stick with. He's not asking for the 60 million, he could use it. But he's saying, this is right here, you're gonna pay for it now, or you're gonna really pay for it later, and you're gonna hurt worse.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall. Any other comments before we get to potential amendments? Any other comments? Okay. I want to make a final comment before we get to those potential amendments. First, I want to, believe it or not, I want to thank Wendy Lawley and some concerned citizens that it gained their interest on what the city actions are. $18 million, that's a big number. And I want to remind my colleagues, Mr. Tisdale, Mr. Shoemaker, and the freshman council members that came on when we talked about this last budget cycle. We threw out a figure of $10 million. That's what we said. That's what we told Mr. and Mrs. Biloxi, $10 million. And I know things change. And theoretically, all the comments up here are not wrong. Theoretically, what you're talking about, what the need is, 60 million. 18 million is okay because of the cost of money and inflation and things like that. But citizens of Biloxi, Mr. and Mrs. Biloxi, took a hard run at this and almost brought this to a referendum. And there are still some things in this list that I'm not convinced, I'm only one of 7, that may not be essential. Certainly, anything that's 20-plus years, going to have that longevity, roofs, generators, some essential things that we provide essential services to our citizens for should be top priority. And yes, we can put that list together, but I'm going to remind y'all, in a year, in 2 years, priorities can change. And I'd caution us to get locked in on a list, and we can't move if there are some other higher priorities. We said $10 million. I know that's a lower amount, but that's what we said. That was our word to Mr. and Mrs. Biloxi. And if we have to look at another bond in a year and tell Mr. and Mrs. Biloxi, hey, we need another 10 million, that would be 20 million, Mr. Marshall, then we need to convince them that that's the right way to go. I would also say this, and this isn't part of this measure today, but I would commit in the future, anything over $10 million, we should tell Mr. and Mrs. Biloxi that we would commit to putting that toward a referendum. That is our ceiling as your leaders, and we've looked you in the eye, knocked on your door, and told you to trust us. And we told you when we threw that number, $10 million, we implied, trust us. That's what we're going to look at. So that's all I want to say at this point. The chair would entertain any motions for amendments for a lesser amount than 18 million, and then have discussion on it. Mr. Creel?
Yes, at this time, as you so eloquently said, the initial investment was requested at 10 million, and that's what we put in the budget that was passed by this council. So I'd like to just simply make the amendment. We've already been told that we have bond debt rolling off in April of 27. Also, they brought up that there's one rolling off in 2030 as well. So we do have future bonds that will roll off for future indebtedness if we so desire. However, when we initially sat down and discussed this, it was at 10 million, and now we're almost at double. And I get it, I understand it. Look, the initial project list we saw was out of the 10 million that was proposed, 3.9 was going to yield us 16.7, and that's with WRDA, MDA, History and Archives, and with state grants. So that 3.9 that would yield you the extra money, that's just in the match money. I get it. That's what you use the bond money for, is to make that match money to yield the additional revenue. Public safety roof is 1.7 with some, if you round it up, right? And you got some other
Would
projects.
you like to make a motion and then see if we have discussion?
I'd like to make the motion for up to 10 million.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Shoemaker, discussion.
Can you play that back, what I just said? No, basically, like I said, initially it was up to 10 million in the initial budget that was passed. And with the match money that was included in that project list with the bonds to yield the money from the grant applications that we can get after, that the mayor is and his staff's working on with WRDA and MDA, History and Archives, and with the state. You got that 4 million, you got 6 million for the other projects that can replace public safety and prioritize what needs to be done right now. And then in 2 years, when that additional bond does roll off, then we can look at it and see what projects are there, what else we need to do, and we can roll on from there. So thank you.
All right, Mr. Shoemaker?
I have nothing further to add.
Anyone else have anything to add?
I do. But y'all want to stop it at 10 million. This is my thing. Police department roof, $1.6 million. The generators, that if we have an emergency, another hurricane, that Mr. and Mrs. Biloxi can't call the police department because we don't have a generator to run. That's over 2 million. Let's just skip down to Mr. Shoemaker's ward. So you got Wool Market Acre subdivision, 2.1 million. Wash-Fayard Road, almost 2.3 million. Shorecrest Road, almost 2.4 million. Then we have the fire department. We have generators at the other police department. 10 million, and I'm there. But we're not going to have any money to do anything, is what I'm saying. $10 million.
But keep looking.
Who's going to cut what in what ward?
No, but keep
Who's
looking.
in their ward is going to say, I don't need this road fixed, this drainage problem fixed? That's what we got to look at here. We got to look at reality. So everybody's at that 10 million. I understand that. But who's going to take what in their ward? Now, everybody's going to start wanting to argue over what road needs to be done first. If we're going to do this, let's do 9 million, and we're going to do the city buildings and generators only. I'm fine with that. But we're not going to do any drainage. We ain't doing any dredging. We're not going to vote for anything like that. So we have to look at reality here. And reality is not 10 million. It's nowhere close, because you do the math on these buildings, it's more than 10 million. Wash Fayard.
I've got some reality.
Wait a minute, one at a time, let's finish. Mr. Gray, finish your.
I mean, citizens of Biloxi, this is for every ward, not Ward 1. This is for the whole city. So we have to look at it that way also. I mean, 10 million sounds great. I mean, I would like to stay around 8, 9, but reality is what it is. We get hammered on everything, the drainages, the roads. We have an opportunity to fix it, guys. We have to look at that. So, and I'm open, and I'm with everybody else, so let's see where everybody's at.
So keep looking. The 4 projects you mentioned in Ward 7, that's the $4 million that's going to yield you 16.7. That's the grant money. In addition to this, you got another 300,000 for City Hall security repair renovation, which comes through another grant program. There's Go Mesa money. If you hit the nail right on the head. Let's do the 10 million just for city buildings, and guess what? You have your MIMA money that also is good for drainage, for roads, for paving, for infrastructure. We just got to pull the trigger on that. I get what you're saying, and this is all wards. I didn't mention one project in Ward 4. Because, so I'm just saying, there's Lauren Falls, those guys over there are swimming. But at the same time, you have to live within your means. And I get, listen, the way it's presented to us today is we're going to have all this extra money. Well, we don't have all that extra money today. So what I'm saying is live within your means with the 10 million. Guess what? In 2 years, we don't know where we're going to be. We may be in better shape to where we can go after more money. The interest rate may not be 4.25. It may be back down to the 2. You don't know. But I know this. The initial thing that we voted, that we put out, was up to 10 million, and now we're almost at double. And keep in mind, just because you have the money, don't mean it gets done. Last I checked, we don't have the employees to get these projects done. So the money can sit there, and if we don't have the people to go out there and facilitate the projects, they're not getting done anyway. Also, you're talking about your projects. We don't have say-so other than to approve the projects that they set forth in front of us. So the roads that you're talking about widening, if he doesn't bring it over here and sit it in front of us, we can't widen that road. Well, I'm just telling you. So, and I respect your opinion, 1,000%. You hit it right on the head. If the 10 million is just public buildings, let's go and get it done, get the match money that we need for the other projects, and then we look at it.
Okay. Mr. Shoemaker.
Yeah, with 10 million,
wait a minute.
There's no way.
Wait a minute, Mr. Shoemaker.
I had a lot to say. I'm not going to say everything I was going to a couple minutes ago, which is probably a great thing. However, what I will say is I was in that police department as a city employee with the black mold until I retired in 2018. So I've lived it. I know exactly what we need at the police department because I was there. The generators we should have bought, quite frankly, before hurricane season this year. Every year we're putting it off, and I know we've talked about that and beat that to death. Things we should have done years ago, absolutely, without a doubt. We should have done a lot of things a long time ago. The roofs have to be fixed, air conditioners have to be fixed, and we need generators. Quite frankly, that list, 18 million doesn't cover hardly anything on that list. Councilman Creel just said it. We don't know what's going to happen, what we're going to get on that list until the mayor and the administration comes to us. We have no say in anything. Certainly, and I'm all about the city, but since someone brought up Ward 7, let me go ahead and address Ward 7. We did get annexed, I believe in 1999, 26 years ago-ish, and we didn't ask to be. And today, 26 years later, water, drainage, sewer, streets, widening, curbs. I could go through the list for the next 15 minutes. Every other ward in this city has, that Ward 7 does not. Would I love to get those Projects completed in Ward 7, 1,000%, and so would every resident that lives in Ward 7, 100, no doubt. Do I think, and in all honesty, do I think it's going to happen? And I hate to be pessimistic, but no, I do not. And that has no bearing on my $10 million. I think $18 million is double almost what we originally said with the $10 million bond. We absolutely have to repair the issues with the city buildings, the generator, and things like that. Now, if y'all want to support $18 million, absolutely, we're up here as a whole. 4 of the 7 have to vote on that, and that's fine. Y'all vote for it. I'm staying at 10, and I'll be quiet for now. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Marshall.
We've already discussed that. If you're going to go with 10, that means that the things that you're complaining about won't happen. The things that your ward needs won't happen because you chose not to do it. Well, if you're going to stay with that 10, we asked the mayor already, are we in a financial position to do this? The answer was yes. The bond attorney, the bond lawyers have already said we are well within our financial means to do this. So the question is, do you want to make the sacrifice of telling your constituents that you didn't want to give them the funds? Will we make the mayor do it? If you don't have the money to do it, you can say all you want to argue the money's not there, but the money was there. We have a chance then to say, this is what we want, this is what we want, this is what we need. But the money is not there. You vote to turn the money away. How can you go and face that man right there? You turn the money away. You turn the money away. We can't make it no prettier. You know, I went out and looking at a piece of property. I know what I want to pay. I know what I need to pay. I'm paying more for that property, but that's what we need. That's the location we need it at. Me and my wife, we're looking at the numbers. We look at the numbers. We're like, we're going to have to swallow that because this is what's necessary to do this. I started building the building 5 years ago. I'm looking at the numbers now. Man, if I had wrong, just did what I did it 5 years ago, I wouldn't be spending money that I'm spending. We have to make the choices that are difficult to make. That's what they sent us up here for. You have to be able to explain to them, say, I can't argue with the mayor to spend the money if I voted to not even receive the money.
Mr. Nair.
The 18 million, that's just up to, right? I mean, we could spend 10, but we got,
Depending on the
No,
project.
you got to spend 85% of
you
it
got to spend 85%
in
of
3
it.
years.
In 3 years. Okay, all right.
Let me give another little, shed a little bit of light on MEMA kinds of projects. Suppose 12 million, 10 million was just MEMA funded projects. Okay? There's 2 ways you could do that. You still have to borrow money, or you would wait till you stack up 4 million a year, 4 million a year, 4 million a year till you have that money, then you go do it. Guess what? It's going to happen. It'll cost you 4, 5, 6, 3 times more as far as inflation. The thing to do is to borrow that money for MEMA projects, let the MEMA funding source that's not committed, right, to the tune of 1 million a year, to do this. That's the proper way to do that. But now we're just adding the other stuff that needs to be done. And again, these projects need to be done. And whether it's MEMA-related stuff or whether it's, city assets, buildings that we have to do, to me, it's similar to what we should have done when we borrowed the $14 million to do A.J. Holloway's sports complex. It was the right thing to do. The timing was proper.
How much was that we borrowed for the sports complex?
$14 million. About $7 million was 7 and 7 together. There was a $14 million bond. Is that right? 7 was related to the Pops Ferry extension, which could have been, some minor stuff. So we borrowed the money, and actually, it was a proper thing to do because we borrowed it at less than what we were getting.
Let me get this right. So someone sitting up here was okay with borrowing $7 million for a sports complex.
And $7 million.
But we don't want to borrow the money to fix his sidewalks and pave his roads out there.
$7 million for infrastructure too. We did that. But bottom line is, even if it were for just MEMA only, MEMA qualified stuff, the 2 ways to do it. You go borrow the money now and pay for it out of the debt service, or you wait for you have to take cash and go do it. So it's similar. And again, we just need to make the call. Make the call in order. What's the best way to do these things that we have to? They're not going to go away. They're still going to need to be done.
So the bond, are we safe as far as our credit, as far as our limits? Are we still in the safe zone?
18 million.
And that's a yes. It is. But we gonna, but you know, come on.
Mr. Gray, did you have anything? I know I went down the line coming back to you because this was spirited off of some of your comments initially.
No, but like y'all said, we borrowed 10 million, and the administration don't want to do it, they ain't got to do it. So if you borrow 18 million, they don't want to do it, they ain't got to do it. You borrow 5, it's the same thing.
Yep.
So we just need to look at the right thing for the city. And I understand the debt service, paying it back, but things ain't getting no cheaper. Everything's going up higher.
Sure.
We have to look at the best way for the city on both ends. I mean, paying it back, I mean, we got stuff dropping off. People don't build an addition, they got to go borrow money to do it. That's the same thing we're doing. We're trying to fix things that people are calling us, complaining about every day.
Sure.
And we have the opportunity to do that. I mean, I was at 12 million, but after listening to everybody, I mean, this is a hard thing to do. Is Mr. and Mrs. Biloxi gonna call me tomorrow, complain about a road falling apart, gonna call y'all about y'all's ditches. I mean, we have to come together here and do it the right thing for the city. I just want to hear what everybody else is doing before I make a decision.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. Mr. Tisdale.
Yeah, just to personalize it a little bit more for the folks in Ward 5 who may be listening or present today. I'm looking at 4 projects, and the engineering department is well aware of these. Out in Edgewater Estates, their water lines are falling apart. I can't tell you how many water line breaks that contractors or public works has gone out at all hours of the night, but it's been a bunch. Certainly, they should be able to depend on fresh, clean water. All right, it took a number of years to get the water lines replaced in Bay Vista subdivision. That took a while. And we're grateful for that. Same situation, the water lines, it's the old transite stuff, so it's probably 50, 60. They should have been replaced 20 years ago at least, but they're getting replaced now. So if we look just at certain things, sticking to 10 million, I don't think they're going to get fresh water if we're sticking to just, I guess, facility repairs and generators and things like that, city buildings. The other thing is Pine Grove, a small community, small neighborhood. I've got the county lined up. They'll help with the paving, but there's an infrastructure issue underground. We don't have the money, and I send a picture every year and try and get that done, so that's something else that won't happen. I don't think the folks who live in my ward should have to wait another 2, 3, or 4 years for that kind of work to get done. That's all. And in looking at, I'm speaking with Mr. Shoemaker here, and looking at if we approve $14 million or $15 million for the bond issue with the appropriate grants that we get, WRDA grants and so forth, ostensibly we could get $25 million worth of work done. So I hear what Mr. Gray says, I hear what Mr. Creel and Mr. Glavin say, but I'm thinking some of these things are long overdue in our wards, and that's why when we started talking about projects like this, you may recall the mayor said, here's some things I got to have. I think it totaled $12 million at the time, Mayor. I think it was somewhere around there. And I'm thinking, well, I spoke with each of you individually. There's some things we want done. The mayor's got things he wants done, but we want some things done in our ward that, in this instance, we've been trying to get done for a number of years. The public works can't do the work. The contractors can't do the work if you don't have the money or you don't have the personnel. I'll just leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tisdale. Any other comments before maybe I'll wrap this segment up? This is just one amendment. If it fails, we'll go on to another amendment. Mr. Nail?
If we borrowed 18 million, is that going to hurt the taxpayers at all? Are they going to even feel this at all?
No, and I say that meaning that the debt service bill is not going up.
Debt service bill is not going up, will go up.
That means.
So I wouldn't think the taxpayers would have a problem with this, then, would it? They get what they want, and it wouldn't hurt their pocketbook. All right, thank you.
I just got an email that there's a bad sinkhole on Gill Avenue in Irish Hill. It's another one that we're trying to get fixed, and our roads are falling apart. That's another reason why we need to look at more than $10 million. That's all I have.
All right, this may not pass, and we may have to move on to another amendment. I've been waiting patiently for a couple comments, and I'm hearing some things. I know 4 of you have been up here 1 year, and there's a lot you want to get done immediately or in 1 year or 2 years. I've had the privilege and the honor to serve for 14 years, and I know that feeling. I know that feeling, wanting to get something done, especially in your first year, but it didn't happen that way. I hear somebody talk about mold and mildew at a police or fire station. Fire Station 7 was on a trailer on cinder blocks for over 2 decades, and we finally was able to get, it wasn't a bond, but we used South Mississippi Development District to do some creative financing, and now you see where Fire Station 7 is today. It didn't happen in my first year, second year, third year, whatever. It happened just 6 years ago. But I worked on that project, and it took time to put it together, and man, I wish I could have got it done in my first year. Wasn't able to do that. A.J. Holloway Sports Complex, the $5.1 million that we spent on that complex just happened 2 years ago. Man, I wish I could have got it done in my first or second year, or third year, or fourth year, or fifth year. It just happened 2 years ago, and I watched all of our parks. We all are from Biloxi, and when I see these parks that are in disrepair, A.J. Holloway Sportsplex was heading in that same direction, and I think it was if it wasn't unanimous, it was 6-1 that we voted to allocate funding for that sportsplex. And you see the results of that sportsplex today, because all of our children in Ward 1 and 2 and 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and outside of our wards play and participate and have quality of life with their family and grandmothers and family out there. Pops Ferry widening. There was a time when Pops Ferry was 2-lane when I first got elected. It was a 2-lane out there. It takes time, it takes focus, it takes discipline to get a lot of these things over the goal line. But with perseverance, it will get done. It will definitely get done. I said earlier, if this passes the First Amendment, that's $10 million. If y'all want to propose another $10 million next year, you can do that, or $5 million, or whatever you think is necessary. But our word was $10 million, and I have to hinge on that at this point. We can get a lot done with $10 million. We can get a lot started with $10 million. And these other issues we can address either with grants, the dredging that I did over, and by the way, my ward used to be not just Ward 6, it was part of Ward 4 at one point. It was part of Ward 7 at one point. It's changed over the years when they redrew the lines. So our wards change, and we're involved in different parts. And to put a number, sometimes I think we get focused on that. We heard somebody say in the audience, hey, don't forget about Ward 7. I hear you about that ward, but don't forget about Ward 7. We have needs too. And this is a big decision. This is a big decision, and the public has been watching it. The Save Our Debt initiative didn't happen because people didn't care. They care. They don't care. They care. So that's going to be my position, and if it moves to a different amount, and that's the consensus of this council, we'll move Biloxi forward because of it.
I respect your.
And that concludes my comments. If we want to talk about it a little bit more before we vote, we can.
Yeah,
Mr. Marshall, you're recognized.
I respect your position, but your position when you borrowed $5.1 million for one park, and you still, at that time you borrowed it, you still had mold over it. No, you still had mold in that police department. You still had that situation going on where your police officers couldn't go into certain rooms.
I hear you, Mr. Marshall.
I'm talking.
I know you are.
I'm talking. You still had Ward 7 out there, didn't have sidewalks, didn't have widened roads, but you put AstroTurf out there on your ground. No one, you said 6-1, which means that they supported you. They supported you. We're asking you to support the people who have their roads repaired. If you don't give them the money, how they gonna do it? You tell them to wait 4 more years, 5 more years, then what's gonna be your excuse? You talking about your money that you spent on widening Pop Ferry.
My excuse is my word. Our word is not an excuse. We said 10 million.
And that is unrealistic, and I'm speaking still. You talk about Pop Ferry, which is in your ward. All this is your money. But when it comes to your money for what you want, it's fine, it's okay. But when Ward 2 needs something, it's a problem. We're not gonna say no to Ward 2. We're not here to argue. We're here because of the fact that I have the floor.
I know you do.
I have the
but when you
floor.
say something that's not
Mr.
true,
President, I have the floor. When you say stuff that's not true, Mr. President, I'll wait till you get through. We have to have order. I have the floor. When we ask for something in each of these wards, we're telling you not because we have a wish list, we're telling you because this is what's needed. If your number of 10 million was what we said then, we didn't know all of this. We didn't know that his library is going to be closed. We did not know this. We did not know, at that time, I didn't even know that the police department had mold all in it. But you knew that when you went and when you put that AstroTurf down.
All right, that's a mischaracterization. All right, Mr. Tisdale, one final comment and we'll vote.
Jason, is your boss or your assistant who was beside you with the calculator, is she still out there?
No, that was Lindsay Ray.
Okay. Okay. So we said that the note on 18 million for a 20-year bond would be 1.3 million? Right. Okay. So what would it be for 10 million? Roughly. About how much? Right, okay, $1 million. That's all I have.
Once again, that's a concern, all the way to these numbers.
Thank you. I put you on the spot. I appreciate it.
All right, there'll be no other comments. The chair will call for the question. The amendment is to fix the amount at up to $10 million. All in favor? Those opposed? Motion fails 3-4. Chair will entertain a motion for a second amendment.
I'd like to stick with the amendment of 18 million. It's going to just cut to the chase. It just go, what's on this paper, the resolutions for 18 million, just vote it up or down.
All right, is there a second? There being no second, the motion fails. We'll move on to...
Wait, he got a second right here. You have a second.
There was no second. I called for a second. There was no second.
He's sitting right here saying he has a second.
There was no second. There was no second.
Was you going to second that? Yeah.
There was no second. The chair called for the second. There was no second.
Right here. Obviously, you...
Chair will entertain another motion for an amendment. Want to go 17?
18 million is what we said. You
that
ignored
was
this man.
struck down. You want to go
Turned your back to this man when this man was doing his second.
The chair will entertain a motion for an amendment.
Mr. Tisdale, you're one of the most...
The chair will entertain a motion for another amendment.
Mr. Tisdale,
I'm sorry,
I need to know the order.
The chair will entertain a motion.
I'm calling for the point of order, sir.
There is no point of order. The chair has called for an amendment for a consideration of another amendment.
Might the gentleman in Ward 2 make a motion for 17.9 million or 18?
I'd like to make a motion for 17.9999.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Nail. Discussion.
We've already been discussing this. It's a hard decision. It's not a popular decision. Yes, there will be some kickback and some bad talking, but we owe it to the citizens of Biloxi to make what's good as far as financial decision. The people we pay to give us the financial advice are telling you this is the right decision. The mayor is telling you this is the right decision. The CAO is telling you this is the right decision. It looks good to sit back there and say, oh, I tried to save you some money at $10 million. But what you're not doing is telling the truth, because your financial advisor said this is not saving any money. Borrowing less than is needed is not saving any money. Waiting to go back and borrow again in 5 years from now, 3 years from now, is making the cost go up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall. Mr. Nail.
I'm just going to go back to, it's not going to cost the taxpayers any money.
All right, any other discussion?
Just a quick comment. Personally, I'm not on board with 18,000. I'm prepared to make another motion in the future.
18 million?
Excuse me, 18, I'm sorry.
17.99.
17.9999999. But I'm prepared with a motion should this motion fail. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tisdale. Any other discussion? All in favor? Ooh, almost raised my hand. All in favor of the motion for 17.999? Here we go. All opposed? Motion fails 3-4. Chair will entertain a motion for another amendment.
I'll make a motion not to exceed $15 million. And again, I base that on the survey that was done with the council and after the mayor's thoughts on his projects that he originally put forth. I think it's a good basis. It's identified the projects that we all have consensually agreed upon. And that's where I am. So that's my motion, not to exceed 15 million.
All right, motion on who seconded it? Do we have a second?
Don't have a motion yet.
That's your amendment. Do we have a second on the amendment? Seconded by Mr. Nail. You still have the floor, Mr. Tisdale?
Yeah, we've discussed it enough. I appreciate everybody's position, and I know we all have challenges, and we've heard we can resolve some of these challenges. The only question we were really discussing is how many challenges do we want to address, knowing that the cost in the future is going to be greater. That having been said, that's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Tisdale. Mr. Nail?
No comment.
All right, any other discussion?
I got one. Y'all got to remember, took you 6 years to do A.J. Holloway.
No, 6 years ago.
6 years ago.
No, 2 years ago, I'm sorry.
So you did it in your first term?
Took 12 years.
12 years,
Yep.
and that's great. What I'm saying is, I got elected for 4. I didn't get elected for 8. And this is the problem is, I'm not guaranteed my next election. And I'm fine with that, because the people get things done now, that's what they care about. And I'm not a fan of 18 million, but I see what the problem is. The problem is we don't have any money, and we have the opportunity to do something now. Not later, not 4 years, not 5 years. So if we only do this bond for 10 million, we don't have, I'm not guaranteed to come help in 3 years. And I'm fine with that. The people vote me in, they vote me out, and I'm okay with that. But while I'm here, I'm going to do the best I can while I'm here. That's all I have.
Mr. Gray, really appreciate your sincere comments, really do. Any other discussion?
I'm with Mr. Gray. We're here to do a job. It's not pleasurable. They vote me out for doing my job, for speaking up, saving the city the money that we need to save the city the money. I'm willing to accept that fate. But for right now, I can't fix the problem without any money. period.
All right. Any other comments? Mr. Creel.
Councilman Tisdale, just a quick question. So based on the up to 15 million that you submitted, that's in relation to the project list we have in front of us that would yield the additional what's that, 11 million in match money according to this, correct? So 14 with the 25.6, is that with the spreadsheet?
With the projects that are highlighted here, okay? So you see that there's on the column on the left with the figures, you've got bond funds for the project. So that's where this amount of bond money would go towards that project.
So out of the 14.
Hang on just a moment. Then next to that, you've got the engineer's cost estimate for those projects. Okay, and there it hinges on some federal grants like WORD and so forth. But that was the whole purpose of me expending, I guess, the time and energy to hear from everybody to get a consensus. So when we got to this point, we'd know exactly what we would ask for. And that total was 14 million, but I suspect we'll need a little more just based on the time that's going to elapse and contingency fund and everything. That's where the $15 million came from.
So out of those that are highlighted, that equal the 14.
Right.
It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 projects are MIMA eligible.
On the first page, there are, the other thing you need to look at is you see the mayor's priority rank column and then a council tally and then a MIMA eligible column. So in the MIMA eligible column, you'll see that some of those projects there was not consensual agreement on. And those still could be funded with MIMA funds.
And let me jump in too. Some of the
Mayor, jump in.
I'll jump in. Not with an algorithm, but there was some of the 2 million, 2.4 million matched up with probably $8 million worth of WORD grant, which is at 25% in order to get $10 million worth of construction. That's, I think, what you.
Absolutely.
Hey, this, I don't have a ward, okay? It's all in one of your wards. We've identified some of these projects go over 2 wards. But we're going to work together. I mean, this is not, I don't have a favorite. It's a project that we've identified that we need. And I can tell you, Rick, Peter, and I, and everybody on our team are going to be working with you to turn out as very much the greatest project we can get. And everything that we do or we propose, you're going to have to approve. So it's not like us and they or them and everybody. It's just together we do this. So I'm encouraged that we're at a number, I think, from our financial people, that's a reasonable, a reasonable amount to work with. And if we need, to do some things in additional, we'll do that. But I think, again, couple this part of the bond is the match for a greater construction. I think that's the point you were trying to make. So we're going to get $4 million in the 2 big projects, that will cost us 20% of about $8 or $6 million in those cases. We're going to get a pretty good chunk of return for that $2 million match part of this bond.
Right. So so now, with that being said, I know the resolution as it sits in front of us is up to 18 million. However, we have an amendment for up to 15 million. How are you comfortable with up to 15?
And advantage of the buck, we're going to go for it. And the thing needs to be done. Those are the 2 priorities.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Any other discussion?
Yeah, like the mayor said, this is not a need. This is not a want. This is a need. This is things that need to be done in this city, in everybody's ward, that we get calls on every day. This is a need.
This is $1 million, $2 million. We got a contract to asphalt laying contract. We got a concrete laying project.
And with this MEMA money, we got to have match money, correct?
That's right.
So we ain't got any, we don't
Well,
do
I
it,
mean,
we ain't get no match money.
That was the point. You know,
Yeah.
significant 20-25% on some of these WRDA grants, which is, you know, and we may get another 10 million of it at some point down the road. That was the first 10 that we identified, wasn't it? First 10 that we got in our hand, you know, getting ready to deliver by Congress. But it's all water and sewer related.
Right, but if you ain't got any match money, you ain't got no MEMA money.
You need match money to get it done.
Right, thank you.
Mr. Tisdale.
Yep.
Mr. Tisdale.
Yes, sir.
We're still in discussions. I recognize your 15. What I'm willing to suggest is, well, I'm at the 18, 7.9999. You're at 15. Okay, they're going to stick with their 10, and I respect that. I respect them sticking with their 10. Between you, could you work with us on this end if we split the difference to the 16.5? We'll do it after this.
No negotiating?
We go back to another one. What we got to do for the people. And we're splitting the difference that'll get us going. Or we can roll it down. But I don't expect them to change from their 10. They're very clear about that, and I respect that. But you and I know something's got to be done. Okay, we're willing to say, okay, let's split the difference between the 15 and the 7.9999, 17.9999. That will give us the 15. That will give us 16.5 in my calculation. Right. Can we do that and we just bite the bullet on it? Would you be willing to pull yours?
With all the respect going around, and I respect your opinion, I offered this figure because it seems reasonable based just on the work that I've done. And I don't, other than, I can't go 18, I can't go 17, 9999998.
So I'm asking for 16.5 and splitting the difference.
But I couldn't go 10, but I'm good with 15. I'm standing pat at 15. So.
All right, any other discussion?
No.
Call for the question. All in favor of the 15?
Here I am.
All opposed? Motion fails.
For the point of negotiation.
1 to 6.
For the point of negotiation, we're at an impasse. This can go on forever.
All right, excuse me.
I have to make a motion.
I know, excuse me. Chair will entertain a motion for another amendment.
I'm going to motion that we do the 16.5. We're giving up something, you're giving up something. It seems like we're at the crossroads. We got to put up a...
Will you put a motion on the table
the
and then
motion.
go for discussion, please?
16.5.
All right, the amendment by Mr. Marshall is 16.5. Does it get a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Gray. Mr. Marshall.
Okay. I respect them for sticking with the 10. I know you want to stick with the 15. We want to stick with the 18. But in order for us to split the baby, to figure out what we got to do to make this happen, we got to make something happen. And it's not comfortable. I'm not going to like it at the end, but I'm definitely not going to like not having enough to do the project. The work that you've done is why I'm basing my decision on my decision. The work that you've done, like I said, his library, it was closed. His library, they got buckets out right now in his library. It's not even in here. To cut them out and then any other projects coming out, it's not right. There's no way we can keep here and go on trying to do unrealistic numbers of 10 million. We're at that point where I need to give up something, you need to give up something. Would you please do this for the people, please?
Is that the end of your discussion?
That was a big, man.
Okay.
That wasn't discussion, that was begging.
Okay. Mr. Gray.
Like you said earlier, we gave people our word. When we knocked on their door to ask for their vote, we gave them our word we was going to help fix things in this city. And we can't, our word, we're not giving them our word if we don't fix it. And I was around 10 to 12 million, but after listening to it and thinking about this and praying on this, I mean, it's the only thing, this is our only chance to do this. So I think we need to go ahead and go ahead and vote this in 16.5.
Right, thank you, Mr. Gray. Mr. Nail.
Like I said, The only thing I would hope, if we do vote this in, that the jobs do get done and the people don't come back 6 months down the road and say, well, we voted the money in, I still don't have asphalt. You know, I'm hoping that work does get done if we vote this in.
Any discussion on this side? There being none, call for the question. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. All opposed? Motion passes 4-3. Not.
Your prayers work. I didn't think so. I want to say thank you to all the fellow councilmen. I appreciate you standing your ground. I understand why you did it, and I want to thank Dr. Tisdale for taking the bullet for us. Thank you, sir.
All right, next item.
Still had a job.
All the fun's done, I'm going home.
Resolution authorizing an entry into a facility rental agreement with Second Lawn Mardi Gras Club and approving a waiver of a facility rental fee for the John Henry Beck Park on July 18, 2026, a waiver of $150.
Chair, entertain a motion.
Motion.
There being, okay, you got it. There's a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Seconded by Mr. Tisdale. Mr. Marshall.
What they're going to be doing is every year they go out there and they do a backpack giveaway. They take backpacks for free. They fill them with school supplies. They go out through the community. They go out through the different businesses, and they reach in their own pockets. And they put together backpacks for children who are less fortunate to walk into school with their supplies. We have an issue that a lot of students, not just in Ward 1, Ward 2, but all throughout, it's open to anybody in the city of Biloxi, throughout the city of Biloxi, to show up, and their children will get not just the backpack, they have snacks and things like that for the kids. And this is something where we want our people to do. We want nonprofits to come forward and do exactly this. Mr. Jamie?
Yeah, just to kind of feed on that, when we met with the Second Line group, this is an annual event that they do out at John Henry Beck, to where, like Councilman Marshall was saying, the kids who may not be fortunate enough to get their school supplies before the first day of school can go out there. They go out, receive donations from the community, purchase them through their own funds. So it is really a wonderful event to not only support the kids or the school-age kids in Ward 2, but it is open to anybody's ward throughout the entire city for those who may not be able to afford school supplies or anything like that. It really is a great program that's been going on for a while and successful, so we support this as a department.
Thank you, Jamie. I'm sorry, you still have the floor.
I'm good.
Okay. Mr. Tisdale.
I'm gooder.
All right. Any other comments? All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Gray was out of the room. All right. Need a motion on the consent.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Creel, seconded by Mr. Tisdale. Mr. Creel.
So let's see. Let's start with item B. Peter, is that going to get us through the fiscal year? Yeah, so that'll be good for July, August, and September.
That's right. We'll have a, next week we'll have another docket next week, but then that'll get us through the last 3 months.
Okay.
And it's primarily for one particular piece of litigation, Oscarinda.
Okay. And that's coming from general fund?
Yes.
Right. All right. Item D, is that, are we tearing this down? Is that what?
No, what this is a case that the council had already voted to approve. There was a typo in the parcel number. We're bringing it back to y'all to correct that typo.
Okay. All right. All right, so let's see, I, J, and L, I believe, all have to do with the same area, correct?
Not L, I and J.
Not L, okay, so I and J, It's the fuel dock, but
L is
then,
at Toddland's,
yeah, but it's,
the small craft harbor. The N and, I and J is the Patellos, the Gorn flows.
oh, so this is behind the Nugget, and then L is small craft harbor.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. That was it, right? Item Y. And I know Mr. Wheeler's in here if we have any further questions. I guess on the $380,000 investment that Mr. McElroy put into the area, did he get any concessions, or was there anything on that as far as a tax abatement or anything?
No, we actually increased his rent because he was leasing additional space. So.
Okay, and one thing that was leads me to my next question is the current rent, and with the extension, is there an increase with the additional 10 years?
Yeah, we have CPI indexes that go into effect every 5 years, so those would just continue on.
So there would be a gradual increase. We're just going from 2040 to 2050, and that's for his future investment.
Right, the request was to add an extra 10 years because 15 years have passed. So they're just kind of trying to keep an ongoing amount of lease going.
Okay. AA, and I believe we had discussed this. This is the water meters, I believe. And is that MIMA funds used for that?
Yes, this is going to be the MIMA funds for this.
This will be there. And that was in reference to the project?
Correct.
Perfect. And then BB, I know this is going to be not a popular question, but Project 999, do we have a balance of what's in Project 999? Okay. All right. So item DD, it's a 30-year lease for the 30 years from 2006, so it's up for renewal, is that what it is?
What's going on is this lease was originally done when they financed the Carnival Barn, and they built it. All the financing has been paid off. The lease needs updating and removal of that to make it easier. I've worked with Jennifer. We're all in 100% agreement that we like these terms.
Okay. All right. And then, so, let's see. I think FF is a great, I think we need to make sure we publicize FF with this Stars, Stripes, and Seafood. Honor Biloxi Seafood Founding Fathers on July the 3rd, part of that 250-year celebration at Seafood Museum. Appreciate all the work on that. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Creel. Mr. Tisdale.
Yes, thank you. Rachel, on item J.
Get back to it.
Sure. And if you would, just explain what's going on. The reason I've raised that, I've asked for an explanation is because in looking back at the invoices that are noted in here, they're all from 2017 and 2018, which is
That's correct.
a few years back.
November, this came to our attention, and we amended. When I sent this, signed by Mr. Paolo and the mayor, to the Secretary of State, he requested one amendment that is insignificant. It inserts the words instead of, I'm trying to grab it. Instead of saying, we originally said, improvements to city property, as detailed in Exhibit A, he wanted it improvements to city property, specifically the expansion and improvement of the fuel dock, which occurred in 2017 and 2018, as detailed in Exhibit A. So we are redoing this for that half of a sentence.
So this comes about at the direction of the Secretary of State's office?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all. Believe it or not, that's all.
All right. Any? I
don't have any.
All right, Mr. Marshall,
Yes, sir.
want me to come back to you?
I'm going to go ahead and
All
go
right,
through
go
it.
ahead.
Man, y'all worked me today. Man. Oh, boy. Okay. Item Y. Mr. Wheeler, can you step forward, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're here representing who?
McElroy's.
McElroy?
Yes.
Okay. And they're located where?
Sir, excuse me.
Where they're located at?
185 Main Street, Biloxi.
They're next to what?
You know where I'm located?
No.
McElroy's Seafood Restaurant down in the Small Craft Harbor.
Okay. All right. We get in East Biloxi, they're what we consider to be in East Biloxi. People say that businesses in East Biloxi have a hard time. They can't survive in East Biloxi. How long have they been there?
How long have you been there?
40 years. 1974.
1974.
Are they located in the flood zone?
They're 22 feet above the flood zone, I think.
So a business located in East Biloxi in the flood zone can survive and can thrive.
Yes, it can.
So that's just something that people just saying to run people off, seems like. I just want to make sure you understand that I appreciate the family for sticking with East Biloxi. I appreciate their family for they could have went anywhere and built their own ground somewhere. They serve good enough food. People drive 100 miles to get to them. And I know I've driven down straight to the foot of Main Street to them many a time, and I will continue to do so. And whatever we got to do in East Biloxi to keep a business in East Biloxi is going to support it. Thank you, sir.
I think that restaurant's been there since I was a kid, and it was just the wooden building on the old marina.
Yeah, you and Moses and the guy with the ark, y'all was eating there together, wasn't you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Mr. Gray?
I have nothing. Mr. Marshall and the rest of them that stole everything. Mr. McElroy's been there for a long time. We grew up there as kids eating. I wish they'd bring the breakfast back, but that's just me. I'm good. That's all I have.
Thank you. Did I miss anybody over here? Just double checking. I let the record show that I'll be recusing myself from item Y.
I do have one more item I did miss.
All right.
HH. Yes, ma'am. I couldn't make heads or tails. I got confused. I was working on this early this morning, and I lost track. My brother called me with some information that I didn't get back to it. Explain it to me what's going on here.
So this particular grant, we're applying for the DSIP grant, which is a grant specifically for communities to support operations of a base and to help with base resiliency, military quality of life. So what we're proposing is to take Judge Siegel, where the new cyber center is, do new sidewalks, utilities all down Judge Siegel to Porter, go north to Division to make that connection, and then south to Highway 90. So it basically will provide a safe walking route through that area for people that are coming and going from the Cyber Center, but it also connects to Division Street for people that are military and others that will be using the Cyber Center.
So are there plans for the opening up that gate?
It will not be open. There will only be a pedestrian gate on Judge Siegel. So military can cross back and forth through the gate, but not a vehicular gate on Judge Siegel.
Connect into Judge Siegel.
Correct.
Go north on White Avenue, go east on Judge Siegel.
Yeah. What I'm concerned about is we got businesses.
Let's get that fancy on board.
We got businesses there that needs any kind of traffic, foot traffic, skateboard traffic, bicycle traffic, any kind of traffic.
Yes.
Will be coming out of Keesler.
Yeah.
The Keesler going into the cyber center is only a personnel gate there.
Yeah.
Now, training-wise, if you come up White, remember that turns into Cyber Boulevard. Then you come back towards the east, that's Innovation Drive that ties back in to Judge Seacool. At that point, from where that personnel gate is, coming from Keesler into the cyber center, now, as Christie talked about, we're going to do underground utilities down Judge Seacool. Then we're going to have a 8-foot bike lane and then a 5-foot walking lane on there as we go in and redo. Then as we go down Porter, north and south, we're going to redo the sidewalks there as well to make it more efficient and more safe with lighting for individuals to be able to walk. Not only the military, also the individuals that are utilizing the cyber center, but any of the residents as well will be able to enjoy that.
So what I'm asking is to make sure, and make it very clear, we are going to be able to have an opportunity to increase foot traffic, at least on Judge Seacool, even though the gate is going to be a pedestrian gate.
Yes. That's
So that would give us
the
a-
intent.
No gate on Judge Seacool or White Avenue. No gate. There's going to be, but that's the entrance from Kingsville to the Cyber Center. That's the gate. Personnel walk through.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
So when they come out, they are going to come to Judge Seacool.
They'll be able to
The
get,
traffic, the foot traffic, the bicycle traffic will be coming into Judge Seacool.
that will be one of the routes to get to it, yes.
And putting the new new sidewalks and things is going to make it more attractive. I need to
Yes.
get businesses in East Biloxi.
Yes, and
That's what I'm after.
that's what we're
Those
trying to
that
do
are-
is get the base,
Right.
and people using the cyber center out into the community.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to be working on just getting the people from that base
Yes.
who come out to Judge Seacool. I can get some businesses that can sell that to the people.
That's the main goal of the grant application and this grant funding source is to tie the base community to the local community.
Okay.
Yep.
I like that. It's going to make it a lot easier.
Yep.
Go East Biloxi. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Not in the
All right, any other comments on the consent? Not, we'll go ahead and approve the consent, then I'll get exceptions. All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Gray?
None.
Mr. Marshall? Thank you. Mr. Nail?
None.
I have an exception on item Y. I'll be recusing myself. Mr. Creel?
No exceptions.
Mr. Tisdale?
No, sir, thank you.
Mr. Shoemaker? No exceptions. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Code enforcement hearings, we'll go ahead and open those up.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Begin
Item A
anytime.
is 8430 Louise Street, Amy Stevens. This is still in violation.
Anyone here to speak on behalf of Amy C. Stevens, 8430 Louise Street? Being no one, this case is closed.
Item B, 1734 State Street, Robert and Joanne Meganson. This is still in violation. There's another.
Yep. Anyone here to speak on behalf of Robert M. and Joanne J. Meganson, 1734 State Street? There being no one, this case is closed.
Item C, 1759 Garden Park, Robert and Jeremiah Daly. This is still in violation.
Is there anyone here to speak on behalf of Robert M. and Jeremiah Daly, 1759 Garden Park? There being no one, this case is closed.
Item D, 2390 Trafalgar Drive. This is resolved. Item E, 379 Greenwood Drive. This is also resolved. Item F, 238 Delaney Street. It's the Eddie Mae Smith Estate. It is in violation.
Yeah, just to.
Yep, go ahead.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but whenever these are basically estates, they tend to go on and on sometimes, right, until, I guess, everything's probated away. Right, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tisdale, for those comments. Anyone here speak on behalf of the estate of Eddie Mae Smith, 238 Delaney Street? There being no one, this case is closed.
Item G, 772 Nixon Street. This is still in violation. Community Missionary Baptist Church.
On that one, can I ask for a 30-day extension?
All right, there's a motion for a 30-day
Second.
extension by Mr. Marshall, seconded by Mr. Tisdale. Any discussion? Question?
Is this a first-time offense, or?
It is.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay. Mr. Tisdale, any discussion?
No.
All right, there being none, all in favor of the extension? All opposed? Extension granted. Next item.
Item H, 219 Cuevas Street. This is resolved. Item I, 566 Jefferson Street. This is still in violation. The Tran Estate.
We already gave them an extension, right?
They
Not
were
really
given
contact
a 30-day extension on May 5th.
Did they call you, contact you, or anything?
No,
Just
sir.
ignored it?
No, sir.
Is there anyone speak on behalf of Nagtai Tran Estate,
You can't say that.
566 Jefferson Street, Ward 2? There being no one, this case is closed.
Item J, Helen Galat at 0 Bayside Drive. This is still in violation.
Is there anyone here to speak on behalf of Helen P. Galat, 0 Bayside Drive? There being no one, this case is closed.
Item K, 1731 William Harrison Drive, Philip Donnell. It's still in violation.
Anyone here to speak on behalf of Philip J. Donnell, 1731 William Harrison Drive? There being no one, this case is closed.
And item L, 2265 Sabrina Drive, Brenda K. Hart. This is also still in violation.
Question by Mr. Creel.
So this is the backyard, right? So they got most of the stuff in the front yard in that dumpster, but nothing in the backyard has been addressed.
Some of it has been removed, but there's been items added as well.
So basically, they moved the stuff from the front to the back, pretty much, yeah.
We're having the same problem.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Daughter took over the house. Same problem is repetitive with both of them.
So question is, what actions would we do?
Just go clean it up.
Y'all approve this, we're gonna hire a contractor to go in and clean up the property and then get it back to intact.
And we have done that in the past.
At this residence?
Yes.
And if they happen to clean it up before they get there, there's no assessment? Okay.
Okay. In addition, since this is a frequent flyer, have we gotten with our legal to see about the double, triple assessments?
Yeah, I'm meeting with Jerry this week on the code, the fee structure right now with some recommendations. It's going to have to go through planning commission and whatnot, but.
All right, perfect, thank you.
Anyone here to speak on behalf of Brenda K. Hart, 2265 Sabrina Drive? There being no one, this case is closed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Need a motion on the routine?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Tisdale. Is there a second? Mr. Nail? Mr. Tisdale? Any discussion?
I have nothing, thank you.
Mr. Nail? I have none. Mr. Gray? None. Anyone else? All in favor? Those opposed? Like to entertain a motion to adjourn in the memory of Beryl Bark.
So moved.
Lewis.
Yeah, and we'll all second that,
All
I
right,
think.
seconded by everybody. All in favor? Those opposed? We stand adjourned.